What's going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again, episode 71. Always with you on Thursday, live on Twitch, fucking YouTube. You'll find this tomorrow on all the other platforms. You can listen to it after it's been recorded. But what up? We're here with you. I'm Anthony, always with my resident homies, Joel, Joseph, and Casey. What up, dudes?
What up?
And today, we got the homies from Zenith Passage, Justin McKinney and Derek Rydquist. What's going on, guys?
Oh, shit. What's up, dude?
What's up, fellas? What's up, internet?
How good is it? Can we talk about that sick intro, dude?
Yeah, we were just admiring that intro. It was
sick, dude.
You guys might know the guy that.
You might know him.
Oh yeah, Chris.
That guy. Yeah, we were saying like, who wrote this thing? And I was like, it has to be like a group effort. And then it was like by Chris. I was like, oh fuck, it's awesome.
So sick.
It was such a great song.
I know. We say it so many. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Joseph.
He sent it to me, just Guitar Pro. I tabbed out the drums and bass, sent it back to him, and he bounced it out with, Get Good Drums and Euro bass. And then in like a day later, I made the whole video to go along with it. So it was like mostly Chris writing the song and me just adding the rhythms to it. But yeah, that was a fun little project.
That was sick, dude.
I mean, like even after just that intro song, I would say the podcast is a success.
Yeah.
Like we could just wrap it up now and it would be like that was fucking awesome episode.
All right, guys, peace out, dude. So shout out to Dreamer, his band, and so
hell yeah, dude.
On last Friday to my little birthday party thing at the brewery, and they played the intro song like to the Cali. I was like in the bathroom and they played
the
fuck
intro
up,
song.
Dude.
Yeah, it was so sick.
Did you guys get footage?
Basically, the song, yeah. No, I was in the bathroom, dude.
You missed it. It was for you, and you missed it.
David really enjoyed it. David Siskin had a lot of fun watching.
Oh, there he is, dude. Krispy Kreme.
Hey,
what's up, dude?
There he is.
Sick name, dude. I love that.
He's got a bev in his hand. I'll drink to that song.
Bevved up.
Yeah.
No, for sure, dude. I mean, imagine
like
it being our show, and then you get this thing, and it's just like, oh, dude, this is exactly perfect for our show, dude. It's like it kind of sums up the styles of like all the four bands that we started with, and yeah, dude. That question, everybody asks about that. It's at the end. You see his name, but we're gonna start. We just got to do it every single time. Christopher Beatty, dude. Fucking hit that.
We're dying to have you on, Chris, as a guest. We've been saying.
Hell yeah, dude.
We've had post pod parties with him, but when
only one of the bands you're in got an episode, then you could do it. But until then,
yeah.
But that shirt you're wearing, man. If you look at my computer, I've had the Dreamer Bandcamp tab open since I met Chris at where do we meet him at the Between the Buried and Me show?
BTBM show
with Joel
yeah.
and Joseph.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Legendary.
That was such a pleasant surprise. I didn't even know that you were in town, Joel. I was like, damn, what?
What's it called? Trevor's band Warship, which is actually Warship from Fate 13, dude. You remember Fate 13?
Yeah, Josh.
Josh in the Jim Danny days. Stoner rock band, I guess. So Trevor joined it about 6 months ago. So he was just finishing up tour right in LA the day before the BT Bam show, playing probably my favorite BT Bam record, Great Misdirect all the way through. And I'm like, I'll go pick you up there. We'll go out to a show. Me, Derek, Justin met up and stuff, and Joseph and Chris and stuff. And it was like fucking so sick. That little venue was sick. It was like quiet, but it was good.
Yeah,
right?
it was super quiet. That little amphitheater.
Yeah, it's like a quiet amphitheater. It's like it's almost going to be like in the future. It's going to be like those quiet like raves where everyone's got their headphones on.
Oh man,
everyone's
that shit's
be
weird,
like,
dude.
I know it's so weird to watch without them. But yeah,
I got this link set to me today. I think it's happening tomorrow down in LA. There's a Shrek rave. It's like a Shrek themed rave.
Dude.
And like the flyer is so funny. It's Shrek with like the raver gloves. You know how they have like lights on them, so you can do like and then it says like, being cool is over. Just have fun. Shrek rave.
That's so sick.
And I was like, that sounds fucking awesome.
Print that on a shirt.
Being cool is over. Like nothing is more relatable in my life right now than that statement.
Hell yeah, dude.
We also fucking we saw what's it called? Cephalic at Psychofest. That was fucking sick too to see them playing again. What was the last time they played? Like, was the tour that we were on together? Like
Probably. Yeah. Super
yeah.
long fucking time ago.
That's literally what brought me out. I was like, fuck it. They're going to play. Like, I have to go now. You know, it's like, what's happening next?
I was pretty fortunate to get into that show. I was just like, I went to Vegas without a ticket. And I was like, I'm just going to vibe it out. Great team over there in Vegas. But I managed to like undercover sneak through there and caught the bands I wanted to see. And
yeah,
the fallout was definitely like the crowning achievement for me. Yeah, I snuck in to the show.
Oh yeah, I remember you had the intent of doing that. Right?
I was watching like the entry point, and I was like there with a couple buddies, and the flight from LA to Vegas was literally $20. So I was like, I'm not going to buy a ticket for the show, but I'll go hang out, and then I'll like drop them off and go to the movies or something. And then I just was watching the door, and I was like, you know what? I'll see what happens. And I just grabbed my beer and I drank it. So I was walking through. And there I was. I know that's not like a great role model thing to say so early into this show, but you know,
dude, we've all
what happens in Vegas, I guess, should have just stayed there. But I snuck into the show. I'm gonna pay this year though, because I want to see.
I'm
Emperor.
gonna pay this year though.
I was like, I'm gonna pay no Emperor. Like I can't pay for this.
Last time I was in Vegas, I snuck into a show, and it was Chris Beatty who guided me in.
Hell yeah.
Much respect.
Hell yeah.
Well, I remember the Deftones show, actually.
Oh.
Sorry, one more sneaking in story was on
right,
tour. I think it was on that Summer Slaughter tour. Were you on that Animals as Leaders Summer Slaughter with
That was in Salt Lake City, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And like basically we were going with Rydquist. It was Rydquist and a couple members. It was like Nick and Steve Cephalic. And they're like, just come in. You'll sneak in. It's fine. I was like, fuck. Like into a Deftones show. We're like walking in. It's straight up just like you're getting like the whole full like shakedown walking through security. I'm like, dude, there's no way I'm gonna get into this. And Steve's like, he turns around, he's like, all right, so I'm gonna start talking to the person at the front door, and I'm gonna turn her back, and then you and Nick are gonna fucking run in. And we just did, and we just went to the middle, the very front of the crowd. We just ran to the middle of the crowd, and we were fucking in. And then we got backstage and everything. It was a crazy night, but yeah, it just took the confidence of like, fuck it, let's just show your laminate real quick. Be like, fuck it, you know. Something emergency's happening. We need to get, you know.
Emergency's happening. Some guy told me, this is like not even metal touring related. Some other, he's like, just go on your phone and be like, what do you mean we're out of medium shirts? And walk through the front door.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's pretty smart.
Holy shit! Or like that one. There's like
was
one.
supposed to show up at the hotel this morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Some degree of officiality in your voice, and
Yep.
confidence is key.
Confidence, dude. I've gotten into so many situations just by walking confidently past security. And then they try to pull your back, and you're like, what?
You don't know.
Here's another story about confidence. Now that we're talking about this, you just made me think about Pat Kenny. So we were doing Kill Tony 2 shows in one night. And so for some reason, they had to load out everybody and then load you back in. But if you were there, if you bought 2 tickets, you should still have priority. But anyways, everybody gets loaded out, and we're like, where the fuck's Pat, dude? Well, all right, whatever. And then we get back inside, and he was just like walking around by himself inside Cobb's Comedy Club. And we're like, what the fuck, dude? And he's just like, I just asked some chick for coffee, dude, and she just went and got me coffee, and then I just walked around and drinking coffee, act like like I just one person, like, oh, just look like you're supposed to be there. That's all.
Right. Exactly.
But people at underground death metal shows should probably like support
dude.
the scene, y'all.
Yeah, we're talking about
please. Gas is like $6 a gallon.
We're talking about like shows that are $100 to get in, or more, you know. So for those like expensive ones, then I agree.
I think that's like a general public service announcement. So like, if you go see bands on tour, guys, like help them buy that merch because they need it right now. That
if you're gonna sneak in, buy a shirt.
No joke.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you're gonna sneak in,
yeah, exactly.
100%.
Just give it straight to the band. Just be like,
yeah.
Well, that is actually a better way of putting money in the pocket, I guess. But
well, you know.
Speaking of which, Nicole just rated the Cali Death podcast.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Shout out to Nicole.
Shout out Nicole. Fuck yeah.
Nice.
thank you.
What's up?
So then we should just jump into it then, guys. So this is the Zenith Passage episode. So let's start with Justin. Justin, if you watch the show, I don't know if you have, but we like to go back as far as you possibly can, dude. Take us back in that DeLorean fly us back to fucking childhood when music clicked with you and it became something more important than just, whatever.
We'll take the Zenith passage.
Yeah,
there.
Nice.
Damn.
I like it. I like it.
Take it.
Damn, I don't have my
that
Curb Your
needed
Enthusiasm.
some like or something.
I don't have my soundboard on.
Nicole, if you're on the raid, like do some sound effect for that.
Yeah. Channel it. So I guess it started.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah. Where did music start? I don't know. I guess took place back in '88. My mom went to an Eddie Van Halen concert when I was in the womb, so maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know.
There you go.
I don't know. I think because I'm surrounded by like a really musical, family. My uncle was like a drummer, and then like my other uncle was a guitar player. So I've always surrounded by like hard rock and music of like prog and stuff like that. So always surrounded. So it only made sense to, I guess, go that route. Start off on drums. Like when I was like 10 or something, and then like I picked up a guitar, and then I just kind of was having more fun with that. And then I figured out how to read tabs, and then next thing you know, I'm like downloading tabs and using Guitar Pro, and then just kind of like trying to figure out how to write music through
Remember
Guitar
the first
Pro.
song you learned on tabs?
On tabs?
The tabs, I guess.
Yeah, just like
I
the
don't
first
know.
song that made you like the first cover you did or riff that you did where you're like, oh shit, I could fucking play this.
Like understanding tabs. Remember when you finally get tabs? You're like, oh shit, this is a fucking 01. Like
Yeah.
I think for me it was Deftones Shove It. But yeah, that was like I was like, whoa, dude. Like you just follow the numbers, dude.
Yeah, exactly. It was it's like so it was like a kind of a learning curve, but like I learned it in remember Guitar World? They had like the tab section and like towards the back of the magazine. Well, I'd always like my uncle would just give me stacks of Guitar World because he had a subscription. So I'd like go through and just to find the songs that I liked and then just kind of learn like them like the riffs that they had in there. Like I remember Ozzy was some it was like Bark at the Moon, and then like because my uncle was like a big prominent figure in directing me towards like metal.
the uncle.
So like I
had the uncle too, dude.
Yeah, they're always the uncles that guide you.
But you figure that's kind of like what we're finding is like either it's been a parent, an uncle, or a bigger brother of a friend, or a bigger brother. Those are like the four main things. The dad's not so much, but I've heard a few guys say like my path of music was handed to me from my dad, and you're like, oh shit, dude, your dad turned you on to Rush? That's fucking dope.
Yeah, isn't that? I think Scott was saying something like that, right? His dad like kind of got him hooked on Tool or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what it was. Tool, totally.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that, like when you look back on it, like your family like plays a massive role in your musical journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty
Joel,
crazy to think about.
Didn't your dad like?
Oh yeah. I mean, he was like it was classic rock, but he was like my older brother. I had an older brother that was like playing death metal like in '92 in the living room, and we were just like, my dad was like, "Fuck this shit. Shit sucks."
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Tool. Ooh, no.
Yeah.
Tool's great
for sure.
Yeah, I owe metal and heaviness to my older brother.
Mm-hmm.
I remember
Rad.
at like Once Upon the Cross, Dusk in Her Embrace, Cradle of Filth.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of like he was more into like crust punk and like D-beat punk, but then there was like some crossover, and I think I'm having this memory again for the first time, at least in the last year or two, but like that Slayer record, Undisputed Attitude.
Yeah.
He had that, and now I was like, this is the fucking best Slayer record. And then I like discovered it was punk covers, and I was like into punk at the time when I heard it, and that was like a big crossover moment for me. And I was like, oh, okay, this is like if they made punk better, it would sound like this. Mm-hmm. Then I got like way more interested in metal.
Totally. I mean, that's a nice classic bridge punk. I mean, where else? I mean, you get punk, you got, the hair metal shit, but it's like you always end up wanting that more extreme. We're chasing the dragon, guys. That's all we're doing.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Still,
we constantly are. But yeah, these are
now we're just chasing Epitaph.
Yes, exactly.
Well, yeah, dude, that's the thing.
That's
It's
so
like
funny.
we're the old guys. Like, dude, remember that weed
Chasing
we got
Epitaph.
back in '95, dude? It was fucking the killer. That's what Epitaph is, dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's what Epitaph is, dude.
I think I reference Epitaph at least once a week. Like, there has to be.
Yeah.
It's the riff Bible, dude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was
It's
just
like
talking
it's like a
about it
jazz
today.
standard for death metal. Like it's like
Yes,
like,
dude.
yeah.
I was talking to Carrie on the phone today. We're talking about solo recordings, and we're talking about Epitaph literally like a few hours ago. It's
Yeah,
crazy,
yeah.
man.
It's definitely one of the cleanest recordings I've ever heard. But anyways, so
Oh,
Justin, fucking, so you're getting into like hair metal stuff, starting to jam some tabs. So what goes on from there?
I think like just like you were saying, chasing the dragon. It's like, okay, I need something faster now and something heavier, because it's like you get stuck in that vein of Priest and Maiden. Like, remember Painkiller was like, man, this song's so heavy, dude. Like, is there more stuff out there like that?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like finding Children of Bodom, and then like it's kind of like it's like a gateway drug, dude. Like like Iron
This
Maiden
was
and
like high school for you was when you were discovering all that.
I think like prior, because like
Okay.
I feel like I went through phases. Like I think some guitar players like my age probably go through these phases where it's like they'll have like an AC/DC phase and they'll learn all that shit, and then from there Metallica, from Metallica to Megadeth to Priest, or you know, Maiden. So like I was going through in junior high, like learning all these riffs and songs through, you know, like the Guitar magazine, the Guitar Pro magazine, or Guitar World magazine.
Yeah.
So I was going through learning all this stuff, and then finding out like from there, like Children of Bodom, and then like I remember like hearing Meshuggah on like Headbangers Ball, and then like
A Stanga video.
yeah, that Stinga video. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, what is this? This is like fucking crazy. And then like the Dahlia video, like Unhollowed, and then I think like from there, I just kind of just opened the gates to extreme like metal music.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
did you have any friends that were on the same path with you at the time, or were you kind of just discovering it all on your own?
I think I was. I don't really think. I mean, I had friends who were like scratching the surface of metal, but like I was like already so much into it that like I was just desperately trying to find more. And I think I just through like Headbangers Ball and then MySpace. Like MySpace had a massive influence on like my music taste. I mean, that's how I found out about the Faceless is through MySpace, and then like Arsis, and then like Severed Savior, and then like fucking all those bands is through MySpace. And then I don't know, like it's crazy to think how much the internet has played a role in like me as a musician and like a music lover.
Mm-hmm. What year were you born?
I was born in '88.
Okay, so you're my brother's age, so you're just a little bit younger than us. That being much more prominent for just a little bit younger than us, the internet was way more prominent for you guys. You know, like being 11. Hell yeah!
You guys are all in my top eight.
I think the internet was just as prominent for us. We just had to wait a lot longer for it to boot.
Totally.
Yeah.
We had to wait for,
and
like,
it
you
was,
know, the,
but it was
like,
just infantile at the
telephone
time. You
line.
know?
All I knew about
I
the
don't
internet
just-
was that I could play Diablo 2 on it.
Oh, hell yeah.
dude. Exactly.
That's all it was used for.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like, I mean, for us, it was started with the message boards. It was the SMN forums. There was like forums.
Oh
that
man, I
was,
remember
like,
that.
Yeah,
Go.
like go in there and like talk shit or you know whatever you wanted to do because we were all figuring out the internet at the same
Oh,
time.
that was
Or,
some
like,
super healthy conversation.
I know it's,
the whole
not,
time.
it's
Yeah,
like when
for sure.
it's like when you first found out about trolls and
Totally.
stuff was through
Oh,
was through all that, you know. But
Well,
I think that's where they started.
Yeah,
This person hates
exactly.
me. I don't
Probably
even know who
the
they
the
are.
birthplace of the internet troll.
Yeah, it's like their
Man.
name's like fucking just like one word is their name, like
They just,
Sting.
like-
They're just like
Yeah. Oh man, they just grew out of forums, like, you know, like in little pods, just like these trolls.
Yeah, I remember
that's what I
SMN
mean.
News was sick. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
oh no,
Not
for
at all,
sure.
dude. You
It
can
was
cut us
sick
all
in
you
the
want.
beginning.
Yeah.
Well, first of
Yeah,
all,
it's
you're the
like-
guest. You can cut us off anytime you want. We don't care. You guys, you have the upper knife. So just, dude,
You just might have
cut
a
us.
harder time cutting
cut
me
us-
off because I just end up filibustering, dude.
I will always, yeah. If you guys start talking, I will just shut up immediately. So don't worry.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I can't. Sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say about SMN News is like where I found a lot of tabs for like extreme music too. Like I remember I found out about Spawn of Possession through SMN News, and like because I remember just going through the tab section and finding like, oh, Spawn of Possession, Scorch, what is this? and then like opening up in Power Tab and like, what the fuck is this, dude? So then I like searched for the band, and like I remember like that SMN was the only place I found Severed Savior tabs too. Was in with the Power Tab version.
You know where I found out about Spawn of Possession was Joel Horner in high school with a burned copy of Cabinet.
Yeah,
that was a pretty like cutty thing to have in like 2001 or whenever like it came out. You were ahead of the curve on the Spawn train.
It was almost like, I mean, I knew it was amazing. It was one of those things that was so over my head, but I just knew it was amazing.
It's like still probably over all of our heads.
Yeah. No, it's my favorite Spawn album still. I mean, probably because of nostalgia and stuff too, but it just like the way, even like a lot of people like touring with Black Dahlia, I remember Trevor going like, "Oh, I love them, my favorite band, but the recording I just can't get behind." and I was like, "Dude, I love that recording. I don't know, it's got this like rawness, like weird. It's got its own feel to it, and like it's actually kind of how Justin plays nowadays with like kind of
low gain,
low gain stuff. Like I remember immediately getting like obsessed with it and emailing the fucking recording engineer, and I was like, "What amps did you use? What's going on? Like what's going on with this tone? I don't understand how you got it." And he's like, I think it was a Triaxis. It was a Mesa
Triaxis. Yep, I remember that.
Like just super low gain, and like we wanted to get the lowest gain we could, so all the notes could sing through. And I was like, huh.
Exactly.
I was like fucking just. I was going to like fucking like I'm like right out of high school. I'm just going to like 9.
Exact opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just like cutting all the mids out, just going 9 on. I'm like, it's fucking heavy, dude. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, dude.
When I was
the opposite.
I was talking to Dennis last week and stuff, and I told him that.
You didn't stop talking.
I didn't stop. Trying to catch you up.
Last thing you said was like, "I'll stop, man."
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't know you were talking. Justin, I'm sorry.
What
happened?
Oh, Justin was talking.
I was just saying, speaking of low gain stuff, that Aeon Bleeding the False record, dude.
Oh yeah, totally.
That one is insanely low gain.
You gotta get Aeon on this podcast.
I know, dude.
For sure.
That would be sick.
I'm super down. Fuck yeah, Aeon.
It's funny how it peters out like that. Sometimes you're like, what do we do from here?
There's not much more to say. It's like
Aeon,
they should get on here. I think we've all got some questions for them. Like
first EP, that's where I got in on that first EP. That first EP is sick as fuck, dude. What's it called? I think it's first Aeon EP.
It's not Bleeding the
There's
False.
something before Bleeding the False?
Is that the EP?
No, it's a full length.
On Metal Blade.
Yeah, there's an EP before.
Oh, they were on Unique Leader. So we
Oh, that's right.
Bleeding the False is on Unique Leader,
yeah,
right?
That's right.
And then
released on Unique Leader.
There's an EP that was before they signed to Unique Leader.
Dark Order.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I had no idea.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Heard it.
I'm a poser.
Yeah, I definitely need to hear it because I'm feeling like a big poser too. I'm gonna mute my mic.
All right, I'm gonna go now.
We all found out about Aeon on tour with Diesel Flesh because Diesel Flesh owned Unique Leader, and they were just like, "Do this new band, like Aeon, check it out." And like I remember backstage at Corona at fucking Showcase, and they're like, "Dude, this band's gonna be fucking the sickest new thing." And I remember they first song they play us is that country God Gives Head in Heaven.
Yeah, dude. So
I was like, and that's like the first song I heard by them. I was like, I was like, that's sick, dude.
That's actually awesome, dude. Because then the next song you heard was like, wait, what?
Yeah. No, totally. That's a big influence for like, not to jump way ahead, but for Zenith and like Surruption, Eon, a lot of those bands are big influences in your kind of circles, right?
Yeah, the Swedish metal scene, dude. It's like I always go back to like Scandinavian, man. They always were ahead of their time, I feel like.
In all corners of heavy music too, like black metal and fucking like prog metal.
Yeah, everything. Like everything good comes out of Scandinavia.
You love Opeth. I love Opeth. Joel loves
my favorite
Opeth.
band.
We all love Opeth.
Like fucking A, man. Those people, there's something going on up there that's just like the right level of oxygen or something. I don't know.
The right amount of clouds.
You know what I heard?
Right amount of oxygen and melancholy.
I think it's one explanation I heard is mandatory music classes in like a particular generation. So all the Swedish kids were like at least schooled enough to be able to like play pretty well, and that's why like the '90s scene flourished so well there. That's like one story I've heard.
That's really I had never heard that. That's super interesting.
Yeah. I read the Swedish death metal book, which is a great book that everyone should check out. It doesn't explain it that way. That's like not part of that story. So it's not like everywhere you say or you read about it, they're gonna say that. I'm trying to remember where I first heard that, but I mean, yeah, I'm a big.
It's
Swedish
just called
metal fan,
Swedish
so-
death metal. The book.
Yeah, it's the name of the book, dude.
Oh,
Bible.
The book.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I always heard like, I mean, a lot of like there's like, At the Gates and stuff with, like a lot of their songs are basically like, Suicide Nation and stuff like that. And I always read that, because of the low amounts of sunlight they get, they're not getting vitamin D or something like that. And it's more of a depressed kind of like depressed kind of area because of there's a lot more depression over there because there's not enough sunlight. I've read that somewhere before, and that's why it was the number one suicide place in the world was Sweden for a while, and that's where that became a thing. That's why the song "Suicide Nation" and things from "At the Gates" were coming out like that. But I've gone kind of deep back in the day into it. But yeah, it's something to do with that. It's just a fucking random theory.
Lack of vitamin D. I mean, Seattle, all that.
Yeah,
they're all
true.
depressed up there too.
That is true.
They're not all. I'm saying that's just been like the thing that is known is that it's higher rated in areas where there's not a lot of sunlight. Dude, we need the sun.
We need the sun, dude.
We need our star, dude. It gives us vitamins through our skin. Come on, guys. It makes total sense, guys. Get on.
I mean, we
board.
get a lot of it down here in LA, and I guess I'm hanging in there.
Well, thank God you're not in Seattle.
Yeah, protect Eddie Vedder at all costs. He's like the last dude who's alive in that scene.
I didn't even put that really together too. Is like the depressed
Yeah.
grunge era came out of there too, and it's just like, what the
It's
fuck,
like
dude? It
Cobain, Chris Cornell.
Yeah, they're all
Lane
dead,
Staley.
dude.
Yeah. Damn.
Suicide.
They
It's
didn't
crazy,
get
man.
enough sun, dude.
Yeah. I know.
It really boils
Even though
down
they
to
didn't
that,
live there, dude, they still didn't get enough. After they moved on, they still didn't get enough sun, I guess. Affected
The
their life.
umbrella. It was like walking around with umbrellas all the time. I knew it was bad.
You're gonna have to put like one of those like this is not medical advice advisories
Oh, yeah.
before this episode. At
We
this
We are
point,
not doctors. at
not a
all.
medical professional,
I'm gonna get those sandwiches.
but I think the sun has something to do with attitude. Okay, Justin's leaving the room. We can talk shit now. You guys need any dirt? He'll be right back, but we have like a small window to talk shit.
What kind of shampoo does he use? Do you think that's some beautiful?
Dude, he just moved into this apartment. I haven't had a time to rifle through his drawers and stuff yet.
Yeah.
There's no drawers on this desk. I can't like see what he's hiding.
He was telling me actually. We did a little sound check earlier, and he was telling me that he was playing acoustically and got a fucking sound complaint already from a neighbor.
Yeah, I think
Damn, that's rough.
I think the walls are quite thin as they are wont to be down here. So
Yeah. That's
I just had to talk to my neighbor. I love the guy, but it sounded like he's been slamming his door, and it was driving me nuts. And I finally had to be like a fucking old guy and be like, Can you keep an eye on that, brother? I felt so bad.
like give him knuckles at the end.
Yeah, it's like, good talk, dude. Let's have a drink sometime.
Is that an apartment building that you're in?
Yeah, it's just me and him in it tit so it's like,
You know who's slamming for sure.
yeah. I don't think he was. It's just like our place is poorly built. So
Is it that same place that I went to when I went and saw Opeth? That was
No,
2014, I think.
no, that was one apartment ago.
That was a complex, dude. That was like literally it was Bart from
Yeah, that
Black
was the
Dahlia,
sickest
Black Dahlia.
complex.
And
It was me,
Brandon. Yeah.
Yeah, my good buddy Sean. Shout out if you're listening. He just had a kid a few months ago, so he's
Hell
probably
yeah.
not listening. And then Ryan/Bart from Black Dahlia, and then
Shout out.
Brandon Giffen, who plays bass in the Zenith Passage.
Shout
you might
out.
know him from his days in the Faceless or Cynic.
Yeah. What band?
But we just had like the sickest. It was almost like a Seinfeld situation where like the doors were open and we could just like walk into each other's apartments at all times. And yeah,
It was Kramer, dude.
It was a really good time living there.
Yeah,
Criminal
that was actually
Suite.
was the Kramer guy.
Yeah, who was the Kramer, dude? Who was
Probably me, if anybody.
this bus?
Like those guys were too lazy like to walk across the courtyard to come over, so we'd
They're, like,
have
texting
to go
you.
over there.
yeah. No, that was
I
definitely.
could like literally see into their apartment though from mine. We were just like
Damn.
directly across from each other with a window.
Do you guys ever get the soup cans with the wire, like the
They
string?
weren't down.
You get like
They were haters.
Where you can like throw over hamburgers on like a hook, like do it like a zip line.
It's like, or you could walk like literally 25 seconds and be there. Like, you're like,
Too much work, man.
Yeah, doing.
You got to just use a zip line.
Oh, me and Trevor, we live together, and like he'll be in his other room, and we're just texting like each other, like just like trying to keep each other's privacy, keep it, but like still like, hey, what are you doing, dude? What's going on? But fucking Mersey right there. I didn't
Mersey, dude. Shout out Jedi Grind, another sick supporter of the metal community, and plays bass in Cyber Savior.
Oh yeah,
there he is. Yeah, he just got the Mersey right here.
I gotta get me one. Where can I order one of these things?
Where can you get one of these? I don't know, man.
Are we gonna have these at the merch table? Can I buy one on our shows? When do we have them? May?
That information will be disclosed for you at a later time, Derek.
Yeah, you're gonna get a message in about like 28 seconds.
Let's get back into
take a message.
Let's get back into Justin. So
yeah, we got to hear Justin's origin story.
Well, because we like to hear about Zenith Passage bands and stuff. I want to know the whole story, dude. So like, who's the first? When did you start playing with other humans?
Well, I got my start playing with other people through my uncle because he was a drummer. On my dad's side, because I did some growing up in the South in Alabama. So like I'd always go to my uncle's house on the weekend, and like he'd be playing drums, and I was just learning how to play guitar. So like he'd always put on the Alice in Chains Unplugged album. Remember that album?
Oh fuck!
And like he would just jam to it, and then like I just try to like hear out the notes and kind of jam with them, and then I started like learning how to play these songs, and then like I'm jamming with my uncle. So at a young age, like 10, 11, I was just like kind of jamming like to another person.
Such a good album, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's so good. And then from there, I just, like the tab reading. And then I think I got to a point where I was like starting high school bands. And then like I joined my first like real band, The Art of Torture. It was like a grind band back in the early 2000s. We actually played shows with Taste of Blood a long, long time ago.
Really? With two blank of blank bands?
Yeah.
Or the blank of blank.
Yeah.
Rather.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool too. So like I mean, even Joel Haston, like who he used to book us like a long time ago. Shout out Joel.
Is that how you say his last name? I've known that guy for like 20 years, and I always thought it was Haston.
I go back and forth. All
right, it's interchangeable. Like I'm Rydquist or Rydquist, whatever.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
I would never correct anybody. It's fine.
Rydquist.
It's still cool that way too, dude. Rydquist, dude. I'm on a ride quest.
We toured with a Swedish band, Necrophobic, and they were lukewarm to us for the whole tour. And then they found out I had a Swedish last name. And we're like bros, and they're like Rydquist. They like taught me how to pronounce it properly, and we were just fucking partying once they found out I had a Scandinavian last name.
That's so funny, dude. That's all you need. That's all you need to break up the Swede, dude. Just fucking have a little taste in their country of yourself in their country.
I felt all sick because I filled in for Surreption, and they're Swedish. So by people who didn't know who I was would just assume I was Swedish. I felt pretty cool.
Well, McKinney, that's Swedish, right?
That's very Swedish. Even though I got like 30% Scandinavian. I don't know, 23andMe.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of Scandinavian, I guess. But yeah.
Right, you're jamming Alice in Chains. Your uncle.
Yeah, Alice in Chains.
Oh yeah, I'm just going all over the place here. I was jamming with my uncle, then tab reading got into there, and then that band The Art of Torture. And then from there is when I quit that band and then was going to school for music, and then started doing a recording project just for shits and giggles. And at this time I was like very, very much into Bay Area death metal. I mean, I still am, but I think I had just discovered like that Deeds of What's to Come record in 2009. No, it came out. When did that come out? Yeah, in 2009.
Something around there.
Came out in 08.
08, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 09 was like 08 and 09 was like those.
What's to Come is so insanely good.
Like those years of death metal was like peaked, dude. But like I was like heavily into that, and like I just like wrote some songs. Like I was like learning how to use Cubase, and then learning how to program drums through like Superior Drummer, and then I just kind of made my own little song at first, and then I called my friend Greg Hampton. Shout out Greg Hampton. He lived in the same complex as me. So I asked him, because he was a vocalist in the scene too, in Bakersfield. Did some growing up there. Jerry's Pizza, remember Jerry's Pizza?
Played
Heard about
enough there.
Oh, Jerry's Pizza. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember how many times I played there, but definitely have eaten the pizza.
I remember seeing the Faceless for the first time at Jerry's when you guys did that tour with Arsis.
That's the first time I played there.
Yeah. And I remember James was like on the mic, and he's like, "Man, I just ate this pizza, and I just," he's like, it's like I feel like shit, man. So it's like I'm just gonna try to get through the set. I thought it was the funniest shit ever.
Oh my god. Yeah.
There's some shit that's gone down at Jerry's. I remember there was like a show where actually Abigail Williams was on the show. It was All Shall Perish and Abigail Williams. And one of my local bands opened, this band called City. And it was like a I guess Cybreed wannabe thrash band.
CITY?
CITI.
Like Citibank?
Yeah.
Sponsored by?
Yeah, that was like before it was like all popular. Sponsored by, yeah. And I remember like something happened with the promoter, and the merch guy for ASP just like Spartan kicked the promoter, and then like, dude, I remember like this like massive riot just happened in the alley right there, and it like looked like some out of a Family Guy episode, because just random people just started joining, and like the next thing you know, like dude,
Like people off the street?
Yeah, dude, just random people, and then like these like crazy like. Yeah, these skinheads came in there, and then like these like looked out dudes started fighting. Like it turned into like a massive like riot, dude. And I'm just like, I'm trying to get my stuff out of the venue, dude.
Probably trying to buy a shirt or something.
Yeah.
Like
But man,
Oh man.
Jerry's, dude. But yeah,
Fucking
going back
dirty
to Greg, like I had Greg come by, and then I kind of just fucked with patterns, and then he like started tracking vocals with me, and then
was Greg like a rapper before? Because his patterns are fucking crazy, man. I'm trying to learn them. And like,
I got a question. I got a girlfriend question right here.
Ooh.
Does Jerry's Pizza count as our first interaction? Oh, that's right.
Were you in the fight, Nicole?
She was in the fight. Yeah, she's the one who
fucking
kicked
everyone
me. Yeah, she punched me in the face. No, she actually was. I saw her when she played. Nicole Papastavru. I saw her when she played in what's that band called?
Hoods?
Suffocate?
Not Hood, Suffocate. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She played at Jerry's, and I remember going to that show, and I'm like, wow, it's a girl playing like guitar. It's pretty sick. Fast forward like 15 years later, she's my girlfriend now. I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. So it's like it.
Nice.
So it's like cool, like you know how that has kind of turned out. Like we've kind of just slowly like crossed paths over through the scene. Like
Now
for the
I have
last
to
like
ask
decade.
you. So, do you guys just sit on the couch, watch TV with your guitars, and you're just like noodling around while you're watching TV?
I think we've gotten to a point now where we actually like to dedicate our time to like finishing episodes instead of like noodling around.
Yeah.
But but
Netflix
like,
and Shred.
Netflix and Shred, yeah. But we do have like a lot of nerd talk sessions, and we get off on like going through like really technical things, like going through DAWs and then talking about technique, and then watching videos about technique, and then just super nerd shit.
That's awesome.
While also
dude.
like having like a passion for like, you know, hard metal music. So it's like a very fucking awesome like girlfriend to have, you know, to be able to share all that with. So, you know, shout out Nicole.
Very niche, like common interests, you know, and you guys are both like full on in it.
Oops,
so it's
I
like,
got one.
that's cool that you guys found each other, and you guys can, you know, feed off of that and
totally
give each other back and forth energy.
Yeah, it's like a crazy synergy we have, because it's like we hype each other up, and like we have like a project that we're working on. It's kind of
one
been
of my questions.
Yeah, we have like, it's like she turned me on to 8 strings. I haven't really fucked with 8 strings, and then because she's an 8-string player, and then she like kind of got me involved with 8-string, because I realized like the compositional range of an 8-string is like very cool. And then we started vibing and writing songs together during the pandemic. And then through her showing me, yeah, I taught her a TCP song too. Just fucking awesome. Like, how can you, like, your girlfriend can play one of your songs? Like, think it's fucking sick,
yeah.
dude. Like,
What a trip. That's a trip.
so like, yeah. And then I got her involved on a 6-string, which is something she hadn't done in like 10 years. So like, she's now like heavily involved with 6-string stuff. So it's, yeah, it's like this.
Is this like a banjo or something? Like, why?
yeah, exactly. Just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
But
that neck must feel weird as shit to drop to a 6-string after what you said,
I know.
10 years.
Yeah, I believe, like, how long were you playing 8-string? Like, I think she jumped from, like, she was in a 7-string. I don't even know. I think back in Suffocate they played on 6 strings, even hoods, because she was in hoods too.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so she's been started. She's been in the scene since she was like 18. You guys should do the podcast with her.
I'd love to have her on because now I'm starting to want to ask her questions. Right now.
Nicole, were you ever in hoods when Naveen was in hoods?
Sick.
I think she was in hoods after Naveen.
Okay.
Shout out Naveen.
Shout out Naveen.
Yeah, because I remember Hoods was always playing with Animosity back in the day, right? Like when they were like really young. I remember they were like opening
Like West Coast
Hoods.
Worldwide, a lot of shows in Sacramento.
Exactly.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, so let's get into so that band that you were playing with that played with Taste of Blood. What was it called again? The Art of what?
The Art of Torture. It's like a grindcore band.
Yeah,
So-
we're ahead of that, dude. We're at the intro to
Sick.
Zenith. Yeah.
What's up?
Sorry.
We're about to enter the passage now, dude. You've
Are we
gotten
digging
to
the
the end.
passage,
we're
dude?
getting-
Are we gonna enter it? Yes. Finally.
Right as I have to piss.
All right,
Sick,
dude. Joel, just go. Maybe Joel should go pee first before we.
No.
Well,
I'm-
I was going to
I'm
go
peeing right
in.
now.
I just want to ask a couple questions about the grind band. So, was it already established before you joined, or did you?
Yeah, it was already like an established band. I think they started off with an EP, and then I joined like shortly after that. They actually recorded that EP with Zach Oren.
Nice.
And then that's how I found them. I'm like, through MySpace, and then I'm like, oh, they're in Bakersfield, and then like I became friends with them, joined with them, and then started writing with them. I think it just kind of fizzled out to a certain point. And then like, yeah, I was just kind of discovering more music, and then I started doing a recording project while I was in school, and then had Greg come over and he would track vocals, and that's pretty much when the Zenith Passage started. And we put out our first song on Facebook called Tombs of Trepidation.
You can put a song out on Facebook?
Well, I guess put a song out on, how do we? I was like on YouTube, and then you I remember creating the band page on Facebook and using Facebook as like the platform to market everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I just did it, like a couple people like thought it was cool. I'm like, I'll just do another one, and then that next song was Zenith, and like that actually got a lot of steam. And then I put out another one after Zenith called Cosmic Dissonance, and we had like a lyric video for it, and it was like this funny play on those old like sci-fi movies where like the subtitles are there, but instead of the subtitles for the dialogue, it's the subtitles are actually the lyrics.
What's the sample at the end of that song from? I keep forgetting
Zenith?
to ask you. Of Cosmic Dissonance.
I think that's actually the beginning of Zenith. It's from X-Files season 7.
Spotify, it's at the end of.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So that goes into Zenith. So like that's from X-Files.
Are you a big X-Files fan, or was it just the cool part that you wanted to use?
Yeah, I'm an X-Files fan, and Greg is like a massive X-Files fan. It was actually his suggestion to put it in there. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do that.
Sick.
Me too. What did you think of like the new season though? Like
I didn't watch it because I didn't like. I had a fear, like just like with the new Matrix movie, like I didn't want it to tarnish like what I've kind of grew up on in my head.
Yep.
Like I don't want it to somehow like tarnish and fuck up like how I feel about
Totally, dude.
some things.
I'm definitely nervous. That's why the same thing. The Matrix is the perfect example, dude. And I heard one person say that it's a complete shit, and I'm just like, I don't want any. I mean, really, Matrix 1 is the only one you fucking really like.
Yeah, true.
All the other ones. I mean, 2 is okay, but even after that, it started to get a little fucking animated with the fight scenes and things. Started to become, reality was being stretched farther in that one, and not in a good way.
they basically just took like what like did a survey. They're like, what did you like the most about this movie? We'll just do it way more, and that's all we'll do.
And most dudes are just like the fucking fight scenes, dude.
Yeah.
Stop
exactly.
the bullets, dude. Let's stop the bullets, dude.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that they didn't think that the first one was going to like be as popular as it was. And it was supposed to be a one and done. It's pretty nice wrapped up at the end. It lets you believe like, okay, he's probably like going to go on to solve whatever problems they got. Whatever. I don't need anymore. And then it's like, fuck, we made so much money. We have to make 2 more movies. And these movies suck. Oh God. And then what's weird is that like, I guess there was like a Matrix role-playing game on PC, kind of like World of Warcraft, but in the Matrix world.
Oh, dude, that game was sick.
But it's canonical to the story of the Matrix.
That's right.
So people are like, what the fuck? This isn't how the third movie ended. But it's like, no, it's because you didn't watch the cut scene when Morpheus was killed in game.
Oh, yeah.
That only like a few thousand people probably are aware of in the world. I didn't watch the new Matrix, but I actually thought that was kind of cool that they're like going out of their movie and like going to all the other multimedia.
That's how meta it is,
yeah,
dude.
it's like
you actually go into
you have to
the
go
Matrix.
into the Matrix to understand what's going on in it.
I feel like the movies that do the best as like having a sequel as like as successful as the first movie are like historically kind of the ones that go like bigger, like way bigger on the second one. So like Terminator 2, even though James Cameron did the first one and the second one was just so ridiculously insane that like it was just like, okay, this is like leagues above the first one. And then like with Alien, I mean, it's like we all love Alien 1, it's Ridley Scott and everything, but it's like with Aliens, like that's, you know,
like a new vibe.
James Cameron, and like, but he did scale it up to this like production wise insane, like, you know, with all the machines and all that. Like it was like Terminator 2 but Aliens kind of thing.
I read the best story about Aliens the other day, and like when you go to like pitch a movie or a TV show, you have to like get in front, you bring like a deck and you talk about it and you go, well, this is what's going to happen in scene 1, and then by fucking arc 3 it's gonna hit this. I'm speaking very poorly about it right now, but James Cameron's pitch was he walked into like whoever makes the decisions at that film company, and he wrote the word alien like on a chalkboard or on a whiteboard, and then he wrote an S and then he drew 2 vertical lines to the S for a money sign, and then he pointed at it, and they like instantly gave him millions and millions of dollars.
That's all it takes. That's how you make it in Hollywood.
So that's like such a baller move.
That's like
a baller ass
equivalent
move,
of
dude.
sneaking into a venue right there. Just
Alien.
gotta be confident.
But they still made it quality too. It wasn't just
it's great.
for raking the
fucking
cash.
awesome
You
movie.
know, like what we're saying, they didn't go with they tried to up it with Matrix 2, but they swung and they missed, dude.
We probably were at like a very
Well-
strange point in technology and like what type of techniques you use on set too. Like, all right, we've got these crazy new computers that can do 3D rendering.
Oh, like
And
Mandalorian.
it's like they probably were trying to push the envelope of technology, and it might have been cool then, but I can't remember that far back. And now when you watch back, it just doesn't hold up against
Like
that first one.
like Back to the Future did it, you know, like
Oh yeah, that's another.
like it's like
great
it's not
example.
always about like, oh, we're like, I mean, okay, I guess I don't know, I guess Back to the Future 2 is like technologically like way better than the first in a sense. I don't know, like with
He
all
had
the future stuff and everything.
self-tightening Nikes, dude.
But-
Of course, dude.
I don't know, man, but it's just
And
the
a
first
jacket that'll
one's
dry
so
itself
good, though,
off.
you know. Did you know they're making a new Beetlejuice? Did you hear about that?
Wait, what? Who's playing Beetlejuice?
Dude,
Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton. That's what it said on the
What?
thing.
Wait,
I
Okay.
don't know if it was
All
fake,
right,
but I
wait.
saw a thing that it's like real that they're doing it, dude. I don't know.
Nostalgia, man. That's what sells now.
That's crazy.
Totally
Yeah.
is,
It
dude.
used to be
But
like
it's
back in the 90s, it was like all new ideas and stuff. It was like, oh, this
Yeah.
new story. You're
Yeah,
like, oh,
it's
fuck
always-
yeah, dude, let's check it out. Let's go down this.
But it's
fucking-
always been like that, dude. It's like been the
Always.
80s. They had
Or-
a big
or it was like a-
50s. They had a big 50s resurgence in the 80s too. You know, so it's like everybody just wants
But it
to
was
go
just-
into back
but
in the past.
When we were kids in like the 80s and 90s, it was like they were remaking all these movies, and our grandma was like, "Oh, I saw the original." Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, the.
I mean, now
But it's almost
it's-
the opposite
yeah,
thing's going to happen now. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm old enough to be a parent, where it would be like if I had a little kid who was old enough to go to the movies, I'd be like, oh, I fucking loved that story when I was a kid in the 90s. I want to share this with my family unit.
that's
And like
how
that's
I am.
probably what they're banking on, is just like this cycle of nostalgia and like getting new people involved in it.
I feel like they're banking on like investors. It's like investors buying a movie. They're like, okay, the first one, the original did really good, so this is like a no frills investment. Like if you invest in this movie, everyone already knows all the fucking advertisements already been done on it back in like '93. So like you know, like now we'll just do that, and like your money will be safe. You know, if you put money into it.
Well, the way I think about it too is like, you put together a huge team to make something. This isn't really like multi-generational, but in terms of like a single like IP continuing, like with Lord of the Rings, and then they made the 3 Hobbit movies. I just see it as like they put together this infrastructure for churning out these movies. And that's like such a gnarly thing to do, is create a production team to make Lord of the Rings. And it's like, well, let's not take it down just yet. Let's just use it for a few more movies, you know? And so I can see that as a part of the story too, is like it's almost like a bureaucracy kind of thing.
I was just
you assemble like the team that can get it done, and you might as well keep them going on it because like they become masters of it.
Yeah.
Or even like in terms of Lord of the Rings, of course there was always going to be 3 movies, but like they built factories in New Zealand to like make the props, and like they were like giving people jobs down. Like, it was fucking a huge huge undertaking down there. Super cool.
That's insane, dude. I never even knew all that.
They were manufacturing like Hobbit feet down there.
I was just talking to I think you might know this person, Derek. His name's Kerry Gear. We were just talking on the phone for a while. Yeah. And
shout out Kerry.
Yeah, Kerry Gear from Son of Aurelius and Odious Mortem now and everything. Our homie from all the back in the day. But yeah, dude, we were like actually talking about this whole thing today and stuff, and like we were like, dude, it's like even shows that like went super gnarly crazy budget, like, you know, Game of Thrones and all this stuff and all this kind of thing and everything, but they just cannot match like what went into like Lord of the Rings, dude, like in that kind of a movie. And I was like, it's like the whole country of New Zealand, like basically
exactly
it's
like,
like,
Middle Earth.
The Lord of the Rings film franchise is like the epitaph of the death metal.
Exactly.
It's like Lord of the Rings is to fantasy filmmaking as epitaph is to technical death metal.
Exactly.
Totally is
the thing that's ever been achieved.
And that's a huge overlap in fandom right there.
Exactly.
Except for the money. That's the only thing. Like, Lord of the Rings made a couple more dollars.
Muhammad just he retired from death metal because he's just sitting on that epitaph money.
He's sitting on that Lord of the Rings money. No, I'm trying. Actually, that's actually kind of like the achievement of this podcast, like to get him on here.
Yeah,
like, I feel like we have enough friends and stuff that talk to him and stuff. Like to get Muhammad on here would be like that would be like the main one, right?
Well, yeah,
like
that would be
style.
Not the main one, but one of the main ones. Like having like the real guests that like fully influenced us back in the day. We've hit a few of them already, but he's definitely on the list of ones.
That'd be so cool.
That'd be sick. You could probably get Christian Munzer, who is like a close second.
Definitely.
You know.
Yeah,
I've been loving his troll posts.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Immediately I thought, I was like, I'm not believing it. I'm not believing it.
I hit up Gabe right away. I'm like, that's he's joking, right? He's like, yeah, he's fucking with everyone.
Yeah, 100% joking.
Speaking of which, that's so sick that Gabe's filling in for Obscure right now. That's so cool, man.
I love him, man. Yeah, and doing Veil of Noth on the How long is this fucking tour, man? It's been going. It's like 2 months
6-7 weeks. Yeah.
It's crazy.
There was
like sponsored by the German
Olympics,
government.
Dude, Gabe would get gold.
Literally? Like actually?
I know. I said if there was
a drum Olympics, he would win gold, dude.
No, I feel like he's basically like I was talking about this on previous podcasts. Like I went to NAMM with him, and we were in Sacramento at the time, and he had to play a continuum set and just basically listen to it like the fucking whole way there and back. Like I was like just continuum the whole time. He just memorizes it and just sits there and listens to it like 300 times, and then he just goes in the studio and just knows the songs. He's like, I got it.
Let me tell you that in this summer, there's talks of tours, and there was one potential tour lineup where it was like I'd be playing drums for 2 bands, and then they suggested another band, and that band has like recently hit me up to play drums for them too.
Oh man!
Okay, I could just do like a 3x set, dude. But
if you did that, dude, then that would be like a new bar to.
It's like the future of death metal. Like there's one member of like a band, and then like everyone else just plays like everyone else does 4 sets. like
you'd probably come back looking so shredded and like the best peak physical like shape you've ever been in, just like buff as fuck.
But I think I
listening.
was inspired. I was like, the only way I could, I guess Casey did it back in the day too. So it's like I knew a couple cases, but then I'm like, Gabe has made like a fucking career out of doing that. So
Yeah,
now
it's
it's
so
like
sick.
more doable. Yeah.
He was actually gonna play 3 sets apparently because Abysmal Dawn dropped and there was like
that's right.
Decrepit Birth was supposed to take direct. So he would have been Velanath, Decrepit Birth, and then Obscura, dude.
That's so
like,
many snare
that's
hits.
so fucking crazy. That's
I
probably
know,
at
man.
least 1 million snare hits a night.
Yeah.
There's got to be some point where you have to draw the line, dude. Too crazy, dude.
But
Speaking
then
of
you
which,
think about
our
the guarantees though. You're like fucking.
oh yeah, you're
3
cashing
bands
in, dude.
guaranteed?
50
Yeah.
dudes, $50,
Oh, yeah, dude.
$75.
Think about
They
that.
make like
buyout.
$40 a night.
Think about you could just pay your rent just based on the buyout, dude. Getting like $200 just in like your buyout and your per diem. But our drummer Matt, he actually almost did 3 sets in a row because he was doing that tour with Dahlia and Suffo and Decrepit Birth. He was playing drums for Decrepit, and then Decrepit dropped off the tour. But before they dropped off the tour and the Zenith Passage took their spot, he filled in for Dahlia. And he hadn't ever like played on a set until like the day of the show. He was learning on a practice pad. And then the day of the show, he got on and did a sound check with him and then played his Decrepit Burst set, then played a Dahlia set. And then 2 days later had to play a Zenith Passage set because we took over for Decrepit on the last leg of the tour. And I think he got him so burnt out after that. I feel like he was just like, damn, this sucks, dude.
Oh, bananas.
So
dude.
It's legendary though, dude.
Dude,
It's sick.
It is.
what is with this like modern, like insane ability for drummers to just like, oh yeah, dude, I can play in like 5 bands. I know all their songs. Like,
I know,
problem.
man.
I couldn't do that, dude. Like what? That's like
Crazy.
something
It's that dang
was
old
not
internet.
expected. Like
It's that
Back
dang
in the
old
day.
internet, dude.
Yeah.
It is.
people can
dude.
say all they want about like the modern, like whatever, like all these modern bands. All that. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
they fucking can play like way more songs and bands that I like. My brain can't do it. Dude.
I'm just like,
That's
send me the
great.
stems and send me
Yeah.
the drum MIDI and send me tabs.
Yeah.
And just send
like-
it all to me and I'll figure out how long it'll take.
It would
Like
only
a
make
computer.
sense.
You're like that too,
Yeah.
Joseph. You can learn. You're playing like how many bands now? Like 5 or something.
Dude, it's fucked up. You don't even want to like
I can't
for,
do that.
for
It's like
for
a
having very
Discord
few
and-
releases or anything under my name, it's way too many. Like, I'm sitting on too much, but yeah, I'm adding perhaps 2 new bands this summer. So just as a
Goddamn,
fill
dude.
in. But it's becoming a session thing. I'm very excited actually. It's super sick. Like
Yeah.
actually starting to get to that point. So I mean, like Justin getting to fill in for Surreption, I was wanting to come back to that at some point because that was
Yeah,
like,
that was
did
was
you already
pretty
know
stressful.
the set? How many
No.
like how'd you
I had a
how'd they get in
I
touch?
learned it in like 2-3 weeks, or no, like a month tops, I guess. Yeah, because I had toured with their TM, and he hit me up. He's like, "Yo, like, would you be down to do this Surreption like Summer Slaughter set?" And I'm like, "Oh shit." I had to like think about it, and then like I'm like, "All right, I'll do it," because it's like pretty intimidating playing that shit.
Well, the gnarly thing about Surreption is that it's one guitar player. So like when I think about
Yeah.
somebody like filling in on guitar, it's like, okay, well, like the main person is still there and they can like help you learn the songs
Yeah.
on the road. But like it was just you being the single guitar player.
And to add to
on
that,
them.
it was just I was one of 3 people because the bass player lost his visa.
Oh shit. So it's just vocals, you and drums?
Yeah, and then like Michael, their guitar player, had to track bass like a couple of days before I flew out to the East Coast to meet up, or to Florida to meet up with them. So I had to I created the session and I got everyone on ears. I had to like do an entire like live session and I wrote like all the in between tracks and then I got all my tracks and then I just made sure that me, Tony, were at least locked in. So like, yeah, it was very, very, very stressful situation, but like at the end of the day, you go through all that stress and it's all worth that 30 minutes, that glory, dude. So it's like,
you saved the tour, dude. You saved the tour.
yeah, well, kind of, but cause then like, I was like, okay, like I got to go back to work because like, Michael was supposed to have already been on the tour, like after like 2 weeks of it. And he was like not getting his visa from the US government. They were like for some reason holding on to like giving him a visa. So it just kept on going and I just kept going. And then I was like, yeah, like, I don't know, like I'll like stay and I'll just do it and I'll finish the tour out, like whatever. And then I think they decided that it would probably save them more money to just drop the tour. Unfortunately. So, I mean, that's kind of how it just played out, but.
How many shows?
I think it was like, I played like, I don't know, it was like 10 to 14. I can't remember. It was like the first part of the tour in the East Coast.
Oh,
I think right before they went into Canada is when like they decided to just let go.
That old Canada when they're counting out your merch or something, they're like fucking trying to tax you at the border. They're like putting their, like fucking like putting their funds in front of themselves, going like, all right, well, this is not worth it. We've done it before, actually with Decrepit before, where they like wanted to charge us like $4,000 to get into Canada.
Yeah, dude, the taxes.
We're like, I can't do it. We just can't do it. Like, it's not.
It's just not worth it, dude.
Yeah, it's like they're gonna count you back in at the. I don't know. I feel like they weren't gonna give us the money back or something like that, and find a way.
Yeah, it's stupid. Like Switzerland's even worse about it.
Jeez,
their country's even like 10 times as worse as like going into Eastern Canada. But yeah, it just made sense for them to like just cut their losses and then go on. And unfortunately, like I don't know why the internet hated this tour so much, but I thought that tour was fucking awesome. Like there was a lot of awesome bands on it. Like
what was the lineup?
It was Entheos, so like the homies. That was like super sick. So it was like Entheos, Surreption, Allegion, Veil Maya, Born of Osiris, and Between the Buried and Me and Era.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was sick, dude. It was like a prog Summer Slaughter, and it was sick.
Yeah.
And like the internet hated it because it wasn't death metal, but I mean, it's just how it is, I guess. But I thought it was a cool ass tour.
That sounds like an amazing show, dude.
The thing is like the internet, I guess, just really fucked with the hype of that tour because the turnouts were just not that great.
Interesting.
Like
Weird.
like the morale was kind of low for a good part of that tour.
What year was that?
Sounds like a rad
2018.
Okay. I don't know.
Plus, like I saw two different sides of the spectrum too, because like the year before that I was co-headlining with the Faceless, and then like I'm like, yeah, this tour is super chill. And then like the next year I'm an opener. I'm like, this tour fucking sucks, dude. Like it's so hard to do like as an opener.
Oh man, I've talked about it multiple times. It's like I think it's like the ultimate test of a touring person is doing Summer Slaughter in like a first 5 position opening band. Like
yeah, it's fucking rough, dude.
You got to leave each show like fucking just after.
Yeah, load-ins at noon every time, 11 to noon.
Exactly. You got to.
Sometimes you got like 7-hour drives.
Yeah. Or sometimes longer than that. Sometimes like you're gonna be late if you leave while a band's playing. Like you're gonna be late.
Exactly.
It's basically just like you have to figure out your rotations of driving. If you don't have a bus, you have to like get that all down.
Absolute gauntlet.
Yeah, and you get there and it's just a fucking like 900 drum sets and like it's just fucking insane, dude.
Yeah, but super fun. Like I mean,
totally.
You suffer through it, but it's like you look back on it, you're like, yeah, I did that. That was sick.
Definitely, that's a boot camp. If you want to be in, like, if you want to tour, all right, do an opening slot on Summer Slaughter. Let's see
exactly,
see if you're cut out for it.
I still trip on some of those opening bands that on Summer Slaughter tours that I did, and it's like I can't remember if they're like actually opening, but somewhere in the first rotation, and like you see Whitechapel opening Summer Slaughter, you see fucking Animals as Leaders opening Summer Slaughter, and it's so cool to see those people who have like persevered and kept at it and like really pursuing their passion, like growing into big household names.
What they are, yeah.
So I'm just like so proud of a lot of my friends, how far they've come.
And it's
from
really
like
cool
when I was just like a kid being on tour. Now I'm like a fan of the music more than ever. It can be like, holy shit, like all these people were so ahead of the time. Like they had a vision and they're all executing on it now at like a very sick professional level. So it's like pretty cool to see that, like how much like metal has like legitimized itself.
Totally.
And like is like now a valid career path for a lot of people. And just like, again, just super happy for all my buddies who have really had the vision from day one and like stuck through it thick and thin.
And you got to watch the beginnings of it and watch
you're on the first one, dude.
Watching it unfold for so many of our friends is super cool, dude.
Yeah.
Super.
It's really
super
something
cool.
special, like when you have that vision and you can see it through for like 15 years and it pays off. Like it's like starting it is starting a business, but in like a way cooler way because you're like providing art to millions of people.
Yeah, if you're like an opening band on Summer Slaughter and you have a chance to do it, I mean, fuck, that's pretty much your chance to get like to headline status pretty quickly. If you want to, like, I mean, you said Animals as Leaders because we were on that tour together, and they were fucking brand new. I remember watching like their first set in San Diego was where I think that's where it kicked off at Soma, and I remember after the set, I just went to fucking Tosin and I was like, you know, you guys are going to be fucking headlining this shit in like 2 years, right? Like, I immediately, that was the first thing I said to him and Javier. I was like, you guys are fucking, I hate fucking going after you right now. This sucks. Like,
and I bet he's like, I know.
Psyched on him. Everyone was there. Everyone was there. They packed the venue. It'd be like fucking sold out like by the second band. It'd be like sold out, you know, like fucking huge crowds there. And everyone's just like, that's when I started to see the whole like gent thing kind of like take off a little bit. I remember seeing people's heads do that. Instead of doing this, they were doing
the Steve Jones. Like,
the Steve Jones.
They went to the side now. Everyone's like kind of like got a groove. Everyone's got like a groove now. They're going like they're
or
grooving.
even the same thing with Whitechapel. Like, I don't think I'd ever even heard of Whitechapel until I toured with them.
Me too.
Like, I was like, what's up with this? And I was like, oh my God, this guy is like actually the best vocalist probably in death metal right now.
Yeah.
And every person in this room knows every word to every song. And like, they have like, they were like the most pro band on the first tour I ever saw them on. It was really cool. And I was like, these guys are going to make it.
Yeah.
And they really, really have.
I
remember that show.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, totally. I was gonna say, I remember that was the first year and the last year that Summer Slaughter came to Bakersfield at the Dome.
First day, that was with Black Dahlia.
Yeah, Dahlia headline, and I remember it actually made it to the Majesty DVD. I'm sure Bart remembers that when the power went out in the middle of the set, and
oh yeah, I saw
and then
that.
Eschbach. I remember Eschbach. I forgot what he said, but he said some really snarky comment. Super funny, dude.
My legs in that DVD, dude, on the bus.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
It's my leg. It's my leg with my foot twitching. I actually because Brian saw me and Frank Costa and was just all, come on the bus, and Frank was like in his party mode at the time and just got immediately kicked off. But it was basically just he was going bananas. But it was me and Carrie got on the bus and we just sat with fucking Trevor in the back while he was just fucking, we were smoking joints and drinking, and we were so fucked up. Like I was like sitting there just going like, I'm fucked up to like watch your show right now. He's like, oh, I gotta go on right now. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like he's like, all right, he did the stretch. He's like, all right, go on. We just smoked like 3 joints and like drank like 10 beers each. Like, all right, dude, let's fucking, and he went up there and just murdered, you know, just
they're like the most solid band.
Totally. Just like like we said with Whitechapel, it's like one of those like working machines. You see it and you're like, they just go up there no matter what's going on before or after. They're like, fucking, they get up there and they do the fucking set like immaculately, like every time, like they just nail it, you know. And they just get up there like, what's up, dude? After they're done, like they enter this mode of just like fucking perfection, you know. It's crazy.
In the underground death metal, like I just got to play a show with Stabbing opening for us, and now like less than a year later, they have like big tours with Unmerciful and Decrepit Birth now, and I feel like I got to see them in one of their first maybe like 3 shows ever, and like bought the shirt, and I was thinking the same thing. I was telling people, you guys are gonna be headlining this in 2 years, like pulling the Joel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now they're touring with Decrepit, like they probably will headline Sin City next year or the year after. Like they're gonna be there. So
I mean that's honestly how I feel about Dreamer. Like I heard that song Hollow, I think, and I was like, if you get the right person to hear this shit, like this is the shit.
That's what
like,
we've always said
by that
dude.
stuff.
Dreamers, they're fucking getting ready.
I got to see them
dude.
play their first little.
Actually,
live.
I'm about to drop a Hollow drum playthrough tomorrow. I just finished it today, and
hell yeah,
guys, watch the YouTubes.
Sick, dude.
It'll be dropping.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's all done. I can show it anytime, but I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. So,
Speaking
I just want to say real quick. So I got to see them. Like they came, down to my birthday shindig last week and stuff. And David from Odious More, like our old friend, David Siskin. I think remember Derek back in the Santa Cruz days. the old days, dude. He like was at the party. He just saw like he saw them playing, and he just like heard like you guys jamming and Christopher Beatty like playing the shit on the guitar. He's just like, what the fuck? Like, hold on, like I need to go like watch this. And he like comes and sits like all close, like right, like like just like on this chair, like to the side. And he's just like sitting there, just like. And Christopher Beatty's like, because he was kind of like had his back turned, you know. And he's doing all these sick riffs, like doing all this shit. And David was just like, what the fuck, dude? This is so sick. Like,
dude, we came to your party and we just played for you and David, basically. Like there was just all these people like having a party.
Everyone was down to, dude.
And we just like,
great.
We're gonna play our metal set now. But dude,
like,
Derek, it means a lot.
Bumming everybody out.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for saying that. That's like after what you just said about Whitechapel and animals, and to hear that from you, that's like huge. And Chris is probably listening or will hear this, so he and I are super stoked. Yeah.
Same.
Hell yeah.
Fucking
Oh yeah,
reaction.
man.
That's
I
why
mean,
I haven't showed it.
I mean,
to Derek.
it's awesome.
Yeah, I showed it to Derek. I was like, I heard this and I was like, because it's one. I was talking about this with Justin earlier. I was like, he's like, hey, want to check out my demo with this band I'm in? I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, I'll check it out. You know? It's like Roadside Records. But he puts it on and I'm just like, what the fuck? And I start just like texting all my friends like, what the fuck have you guys got this is the next thing. I think this might be the next thing. Like immediately was saying that, and we've talked about it on the podcast a bunch, but we're not just saying it, you know, like people hype shit up. And I'm like, it was my honest organic reaction was like, holy fuck, like this is the new guy, I guess.
Well,
yeah. Joel was like, yeah, you gotta check it out, and I was like, okay, I'll check it out. I think he sent it to me.
Yeah,
and it took me like a few days to get around to it, and I was like, why did it take me a few days? Like this is so rad.
Opened it immediately. Yeah.
I feel like something like that happened to me with Fallujah when they were just starting. Played a show in the Bay Area, and I don't remember which member it was. I'm sorry, or if you're in the band anymore, but like somebody was like, yo, I got this band and like we got this demo, I want to show it to you. And I think me and somebody else from the Faceless, we like went to their car and we listened to whatever demo Fallujah had. And I was like, this is so fucking good. Like, I'm glad I like walked to this car with some random dude at our show. It was like a really like fulfilling experience to hear that and like see where they're at now. And like,
yeah,
totally.
I don't really use Facebook much, but whenever I do, it's typically like a post of Scott playing guitar, and then it loops. It rings me in there for like 3 minutes, and I'm just like, that was so fucking sick. And like, I'm glad to see that they're doing really well too.
Yeah, shout out Scott.
Yeah,
he was just on the podcast a week or so ago, right?
He just played live with Dragon Force, didn't he?
Yeah,
he just got called.
Yeah, it was sick.
So insane.
Yeah, we went to the show. It was fun, dude. I think it was a super fun show. Like surprisingly very fun. Nice. Like not just because like your homies are there, but just like the actual like the showmanship of everyone and just the production makes it super fun, dude.
It's also like people are ready to have fun, man. Like shows are happening again. People are ready to see shows. Like I've been to a few shows over the last couple years, obviously, but like I used to go to a show like a month. Yeah. Like I went to see Godspeed You Black Emperor the other day, and like that's not a show like I would consider fun, but it was like epic as fuck, and it was just like really moving to be in a room with like this wall of sound, and like there was so many people there, and it was just really nice to like.
It's an energy that we've been missing for a long time, dude. And then when you tap into it again, you're like, oh yeah, dude, I missed this, dude.
Or just there's just something nice about hearing fucking distorted guitar loud as fuck out of a PA. Totally. And it just like goes through your body. It's just like, oh my God. Like I haven't been around loud music in a long time. Or like, you feel it and
you listen with your body.
You transport back to
crazy, dude, is that I forgot until it hit me again. It's like the spirit. I always say it's like catching the spirit at church, dude. It just fucking goes through your whole body, dude.
You're like, oh totally. So Zenith. So you guys got Zenith going and shit. So
I don't think we're done with Justin's story.
I think that's it.
No, you still got other band. How did we meet? I don't remember.
Knotfest.
But we can actually butt
Is that
up
where-
to it through
Well, that-
after your story, Derek.
well, that's what we-
can butt it up against each other.
Okay,
it's gonna be-
I'll tell an abridged version
It's
of
gonna
my
be like in a
story.
Marvel
don't go
universe.
Bridge, dude. Let's fucking hear.
I don't know
that.
how long this thing goes.
It goes as
So,
long as you
Whatever,
want it
till
to.
whatever.
We're doing 6
and
hours.
I told most of my story on our buddy the Copper Crab podcast. If I forget anything, go back and listen. Me and Justin were on there too a while back.
Yeah.
But
Cool, dude.
so my story starts way
Started
back in the
same way,
day.
dude. Yeah. Dude.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I was into music pretty early. Like I said, I had an older brother. Or I have an older brother. His name's Ian. He's not watching, but what's up, Ian? He's a musician. He's a very talented piano player. He's a really good guitar player now. He gets it. He was into like rock music, and my mom plays guitar effectively and my dad can play piano. Like we're all pretty musically inclined folks. And I started playing drums. I didn't know that Justin started with drums, but I wasn't very good.
Check out that playthrough.
Yeah, I want to myth bust a fake playthrough that I posted. Some people think it's real. I thought I exaggerated it enough, but I guess not.
I guess I just edited it too good, dude.
Maybe like a
right
couple
there.
of those hits are valid, but most of them are wrong. And if you were in the room, you'd be crying. But I got a drum set when I think in like. Actually, no, the first instrument I had was a saxophone in 3rd grade, and then it was a hand-me-down from my brother.
Oh shit. Okay.
And at Mar Vista Elementary that I attended with Joel, right? You went to Mar Vista.
Yeah, Miss Davies or what?
Yeah, Miss Davies. I had Miss Davies. Joel's year ahead of me, but we went to preschool. We started our school together.
Yeah.
But so maybe that's where music started, when I met Joel when I was like 3 or 4 years old. But I got a drum set. That lasted a while. I took lessons, and then like started meeting friends who played guitar or bass or whatever, and we would just like dick around. Like we could play music at my house in my garage, so we could just like make noise.
Dude. That's key.
And eventually, trying to figure out like where I was always into like guitar based music, and then like pretty early on, I got into like gangster rap, like Death Row Records, like and to me. Gangster rap and death metal are almost like the same. It's like narrative based, aggressive, bravado to some extent music.
Mm-hmm.
And so like they speak the same language. I still love like aggressive rap, stuff like
totally,
that.
Dude. Derek,
And
me
so,
and
like-
you were the same, bro. That's where
And like, I mean, if you listen to like death metal,
Oh,
it's just
dude.
like, and that's what rap is. And so it's just like rap with gain.
You hear Brother
Dude.
Lynch lyrics, and you're
Oh,
like,
yeah,
oh, dude, it's
totally.
fucking Cannibal Corpse.
Dude,
Dude.
Season of the Sickness is like a top 10 record
It's
for me.
One of the greatest California rap albums
Yeah.
of all
Dude,
motherfucking
did you get it
time,
on
dude.
vinyl, Anthony?
No, I actually don't.
Because
even
it
have a
has
vinyl
it
player.
has tracks that aren't on the CD.
No shit.
It's got these crazy sketches where can't really talk about it, but
Yeah.
got some really funny interludes.
Nice, dude. I'm down.
You should pick up
Yeah, dude,
a copy of
that
it.
was that. I mean, I could go on and on about that album.
Yeah.
dude.
That was like a pretty integral
And
record
Loaded
for me.
too. The one after that, Loaded, was actually. If you go back and listen to that one too, because
I'll check that out.
He hooked up
'Cause-
with this dude Funk Beta, who is on.
Yeah,
the
Funk Beta's
keys.
sick.
And that just what happened in the studio for that album, dude, and you just hear them talk about it, you're like, wow, dude, this was like the most creative shit that was going on for those guys. 96,
And that
dude.
like kind of bridged a gap for me too, from like rap back into to metal, because it's like
Hell yeah.
similar lyrical themes and stuff, just kind of like,
Yeah.
it's like horrific stuff.
Yeah. Now
so
they
like
have
when I was a
words like
kid,
horrorcore or whatever.
Yeah.
Horrorcore.
but when I was a kid though, I was really into like Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, all the grunge. And then I got into gangster rap. And then like around 7th grade, maybe 6th, 7th grade is when I discovered what I would call like the holy trinity of Sepultura, Pantera, and Slayer.
Nice.
And like I literally remember saying in 7th grade, I was like, I don't need any other bands in my life. Like they each have like 8 records. It's chill. Like,
Totally.
like it's game over. There's
That's your
not,
Desert
this is enough
Island
music for me.
discographies right there. Is just those 3 bands.
And-
Actually, that's a good Desert Island discographies.
Yeah. So
Right there, too.
my brother had got me Cowboys from Hell at one point for a Christmas present on CD. And so I was like, oh, I like Pantera. And I remember going to the flea market and buying the Great Southern Trendkill from a guy. And I believe he wanted 50 cents. And I only had a quarter. And I was like, take it or leave it, man. You know, I was probably like, 11 years old or something. And he took it, and I walked home with the Great Southern Trendkill, and I thought it was going to be like Cowboys from Hell.
What a bargain.
And if you don't know, they're not the same at all.
Not at all.
And it just started as it starts with a like really loud, and it's just like a really slow, like caveman blast beat. And I was like, all right, this is where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
This is whatever I was on before is like gone. This is what it is now. And I got into death metal through there. Like I said, my brother had like Deicide Records or Cradle of Filth Records. And like, I was always into punk too. And then, so it kind of went like this for a while. And then I was playing drums with some guys in high school, but I wasn't a good drummer, like at all. Like at all. But I could hold down a beat, whatever. It was good enough for like a shitty punk band. And then I was friends with a guy who was actually quite a good drummer, and I wanted to be in a band with him. And
who was that?
The only thing I could think of to do was try vocals. And that's how I discovered that I had a knack for it.
Who's the drummer guy? Do we know?
Garrett Dyer.
Yep.
And he had a jam room at his house too, so we were able to go up there and jam all the time. And
What was his nickname? I forgot. What was it?
I can't.
I'm just kidding.
We can't say that anymore. But yeah, we would jam with him, and that's like where my high school band, Taste of Blood, came from. And it's a pretty funny band name, but I actually I have friends who still are like, Taste of Blood is so much better than the Faceless. Go start the Taste of Blood again. What are you doing? And I'm like, and I went back and I listened to a song and I was like, oh, it's actually like pretty heavy. It's not bad for like
I recently
where we
went back to
were.
it.
And like I feel like if it came out now, like people would probably like it, but it was kind of early. It was like a really big death metal influenced breakdown music. I wouldn't call it deathcore because our drummer couldn't blast beat, so we couldn't have like the death metal parts, but we tried our best to like go into it and have that kind of vibe. And I remember like Chase, he would be like, this is Dying Fetus. Try to do vocals like this sometimes. Or like, I remember he had like the Dimmu Borgir CD and DVD that like folds out into the upside down cross. And like, he's like, let's listen to all this. Like, you're gonna figure out how to do some vocals like this, okay? And like, it was cool, and like that's like where I started discovering stuff. Like I said earlier, Joel gave me and my buddy Richie. I think you gave Richie "Cabinet" by Spawn and Possession. Yep. I think it's because of you that I heard "And Then You'll Beg" by Cryptopsy, or maybe "Whisper Supremacy" first.
Yeah.
But like, "Cold Hate Warm Blood." Remember, Joel? We'd listen to that like all the fucking time, like leaving school as loud as possible.
That's why we even jammed. Is like I was like, dude, I can play the riffs from this song. You were like, what the fuck? You can play the riffs from that song?
we had like a Lord Worm poster printed out in our jam space because his name was Lord Worm. Like, that was cool to me, and it still is actually. That's fucking awesome.
It still is, dude. He's definitely one of those obscure, like, he seems like he lurks in the shadows,
I remember seeing them play at the Pound, and then I was like, oh, this is sick. And then like he busted out this goblet and he was like feeding people worms and like people, like normal people, were like eating worms out of his hand for some reason. I was just like, dude,
I was right behind him, dude, and I'm even in the moment where I'm like, dude, I'm in the moment.
You're like, I'm about to eat a worm.
No, not at all. I literally look at dude and I'm like, ugh, dude, you're actually gonna do that?
I was up there like I was begging for a worm, dude. But I think if he actually gave it to me, I was gonna be like, dude. I was like,
But yeah, like the expedited version of the story though is just like, I was always into music as a little kid. Like I remember liking music as early as like 3rd grade and having an opinion on what was good and what was bad.
Yeah.
And then just evolved into, I think the trajectory is just aggression.
Yeah.
Whether it was punk or whether it was metal or whether it was rap, it was like, who is like serving it up the hardest right now?
Hard. Yep.
And and then like as I became a musician in this world, it's kind of like, where do I go without like exposing everybody? But it's like a persona, and it's like a part of you, and it's just like, if you find that type of something entertaining, then like you find a way to express it. And so like for me, I'm not like a hard person, I've like never even been in a fight, but like I like this energy that this music creates. And then like as you get more and more into it, you learn like how extremely talented the people that I'm surrounded by were. So like I'm over here, I'm just going like, but then I'm like next to Justin, who's like playing the most like fucking sick, beautiful thing you can do on guitar. And it's just like, wow, like this is like a top tier musician that like,
for sure.
You're hitting so many things with me right now, dude, because that's all, I get like the imposter syndrome all the time.
I understand the role, but like there's like, I can't play guitar ever.
But there's a skill set behind doing what you do, though, that you probably don't recognize because you're like within yourself. But as like someone who like me growing up watching you, like because that's where the dynamic between us is interesting, because I grew up watching you, and now we're in a band. So like I've seen like I'm like, dude, that is like the best death metal vocalist ever. So
thank you.
So it's like cool to grow up and see you and been like, oh, dude, like that guy, I don't understand how he does that. Like, it's insane. Like, the only person I can think of is like Michael Ackerfeld or something. It's like,
yeah, that's the only guy I've ever punished.
There's like skill involved in actually doing this that people don't really understand. Like, there's a lot of fucking skill that goes into like doing what you do.
Yeah, I got to figure it out again so I can play these songs. Literally, I'm like, so I am new to the Zenith Passage, right? I have recorded a song for the Zenith Passage.
2 songs.
Oh, I've recorded 2 songs. Yeah. We have released a song that I am on, and
it's not released yet.
Like if you listen to it, it's like kind of notably, it's still fast, but like the vocals aren't as like. So like when I was learning some of these songs that we're getting ready, like for our set list for our tour coming up, I literally texted him. I was like, I need video evidence that this can be performed.
Oh shit!
Because like I don't know if I can do it, and I need to understand that it can be done. Because I remember the first time I saw it, or the only time actually I saw you guys play, I was like, I can't believe Greg did it.
Yeah, because I think you asked me like, how does he keep his glasses on?
Yeah, that's another question too.
Yo, Greg,
I'd love to see you with like a Zenith Passage like strap in the back, dude.
Dude, that'd be so
These are
hard.
called croakies, if you're wondering.
They're called croakies?
Yeah.
Croakies?
Oh, shit, dude.
Croaky, like ribbit.
Like a hoagie.
Zenith Passage is croaky, dude.
Dude, I'm down. When I did some shows with John from one of my other projects, I had one, but we wear like cloaks and stuff, so you couldn't tell that they were there.
Was it cloaky? Yeah, anyways.
Cloaky.
Or like the athletic ones that they wear in the NBA and shit, where they're all like fucking super thick and
yeah,
like
dude, the neoprene ones.
Yeah.
But let's see, where did I leave off?
I think that was the last show that we played together.
I was in high school. I had this band, this punk band with some friends. Ill Breed. It's like nice. I can't imagine a worse band name. I'm always like, and then like one of the guys like wrote it on my backpack in whiteout pen, and I was just like, oh my god,
Dude,
I don't have to tell people.
Your old singer picked me up on an Uber, kind of like a year or two ago.
Really?
Like, yeah. I was like, he's all Joel, and I'm like, yeah. Like, what the fuck? It's this guy Manu. Manu? What the fuck? Yeah, it was a trip.
Yeah, but one of those guys wrote the band name in whiteout pen on my backpack, and I was so bummed because I was like, now I have to tell people like this is my band, because I was getting away for a long time. It's like a punk band,
Yeah.
But then some of us went on to do the Taste of Blood, which was like that kind of proto deathcore band, and we played a lot of really good shows, and like our local Santa Cruz scene was really welcome to us. Yeah, it was really cool. And that was like right around when like the Salinas scene and the Santa Cruz scene were trying to figure out how to coexist, because like more of like the metalcore stuff was coming out of Salinas, and then Santa Cruz had a really strong punk and metal background. So like there was a lot of kind of animosity between the two areas for a long time. And I don't think like we really ushered it, but I think like that band kind of showed each side that like there's something for everybody. Mm-hmm. And I think there was some sort of Laurel Leaf extended, because like we were invited to play shows in Santa Cruz or in Salinas, and then we can be like, oh yeah, let's do a show in Santa Cruz with you guys too. Yeah. And then that band, we got a record on Tribunal Records, which is like what Animosity released their first record on, and so like Leo, I think, kind of brokered that for us. And from there, we made friends with like Job for a Cowboy and Suicide Silence.
To go back,
what was that?
Before the Tribunal release, you guys had that other Red Cover album.
That was
just indie release that you guys did.
That was released by a local label out of Santa Cruz. I think it was Unfun Records.
Unfun
it was
Records.
Called. Yeah, I wouldn't go back and listen to that, but
I have it.
Yeah, I might. I probably threw it away. I don't know. But like the one on Tribunal is pretty cool. It's heavy. And then like we're kind of like the lowest tier on that like MySpace echelon swoop up, and we befriended like Job for a Cowboy and Suicide Silence. And that was the first and only tour that band did. So we were the only band that had a release on a label though. So we had to play last, and it was like just not fun, but it was cool like getting to know those guys. And on that tour we played a show with the Faceless, and that's how I think we played 2 shows with the Faceless, and that's how I got to know those guys. And we went out in Vegas on
previous vocalist before you.
They had I think 2, maybe like definitely 1, Jeff, and he was like on the recordings that most people heard at the beginning, and he's still a homie, he's still around. He did vocals for a band called Black Sheep Wall. That's really cool. It's like fucking heavy as shit, kind of doomy, discordant stuff. And then they had a guy named Mikey for a while who I didn't know at all. And then they had a guy filling in for a couple shows. I was just like the homie doing it. I don't think he was ever in the band. And then I was going to college, and I was living in Monterey, working in Santa Cruz. I got a text from Mike Keene. Actually, I don't think I got texts at that point in this time. This is like how long ago shit was. People like text messages cost like 10 cents a text.
Yeah.
And I remember I called AT&T and I was like, please disable this function from my phone. I cannot afford to receive text messages. And so I got a call while I was at work, and I was like, I barely know this guy. Like, maybe I'll follow up later. And he called like 1 or 2 more times. And I was just like, I looked at my manager. I was working at like a pants store. And I was like, I got to take this call. Like something might be up, or I don't know. And he was like, hey, we're wondering if you're interested in recording a record with the Faceless. And at this time in my life, like this is what I thought this is what I wanted to do. And I was like, oh my God, like, yeah, I'll do this record. He's like, okay, cool. Well, if you do the record, you're going to have to come down to LA to do it and like stay down here while we work on it. Okay, well, that could probably work. What are the dates? And we kind of sussed it out. And it was like this tiered approach, right? And he goes, okay, well, if you do the record, you're going to have to tour with us too. And I was like, okay, well, I really want to be touring. Like, this is what I've been working towards. He's like, okay, well, we already have the tours booked. And I think it was 4 months straight.
Jesus.
And it was like, he's like, well, the first one's going to be with like Arsis and Dead to Fall. And then we're going to go with Necrophagus. And then we're going to go with All Shall Perish. And then it was just like, oh my fucking God. Like, and to me, it was like this moment. And I was just alone in this empty store that nobody shopped at with my manager, who I'm still friends with. Her name's Michelle. And I was just like, what do I do, Michelle? Like, I was probably like 21 years old. I don't know. And she was like, I was working at a video store and a pants store and like going to college. She was like, you just got to go do this right now.
Yeah.
And like, I knew that I needed that, but just like even hearing your boss being like, quit this stupid job and go on tour. And like,
what was her name?
Her name's Michelle.
Great advice, Michelle.
Yeah, she's cool. I saw her at a wedding recently. She's married to my buddy. Bauer.
At that age,
they're both my friends.
You take that chance at that age, no doubt, dude.
Yeah. And she was just like, you can go back to school. You can get a job like this when you come back. It's no big deal. And like, it's not like what solidified it in me, but it made me feel like, you know what? Like this person who probably hates death metal and knows nothing about it, like knows nothing about this situation at all, is just saying like, you need to do that. Mm-hmm. It was like a nice push.
Totally.
And here I am. You know, we went on tour for a long time. I'm not really sure like where it fizzled for me, but it just kind of did. Like we were all like living in disparate areas of the country. Like our drummer wasn't in the state. I was living in Santa Cruz. Everyone is in LA. Like just kind of wasn't moving. And like some opportunities came up for me, like career wise, that I was just like, if I don't do this now, I might not make it out of my 20s, being able to sustain myself. And like the state of music was a lot different back then too. Like we did not have Facebook. We did not have Instagram. We didn't have internet streaming on like a nice organized way. We didn't have a way to market ourselves that well. Like we were really relying on label and stuff. So like my vision for the future wasn't as like maybe it would have been if I started touring like 5 years ago, or even like three years later. You know, I could be like, oh, there's like ways to keep this lifestyle going and like use whatever notoriety or personality or just like connections that you're able to make to preserve this type of lifestyle. And like I wouldn't expect a fancy one or anything, but like at that time, like I didn't have a path laid out that made sense for me as like a functioning adult. And I just had to make like a pretty adult decision and get out the touring game full time.
Yeah. Internet sleuths have deduced. I remember that.
It's a trip for like, cause we got to tour together like multiple times, and it was just a trip to like, me and Derek were literally like toddlers together, you know, like we went to fucking catechism together, like because we thought that's where everyone was going, and we're like, oh, everyone's going there, we're gonna go. We're like 4 or 5 years old, and our parents are dropping us off, and we're like, I'm just trying to be with my friends and like reading like fucking the Bible and stuff. Like it's kind of weird. But
we read the Bible there.
No,
I must have blocked that out.
No, it was I have a random memory. It was off of it was across from the hindquarter, kind of over that area. There was like across the street. There was like a place that we went and like catechism or something. And
that's where my parents would go to church. Right across from the hindquarter.
That's what it was then. Yeah, I remember. I have a very basic memory of it. But fast forwarding to us touring together, and I remember it was my birthday in Atlanta. I remember one time, and he gave this shout out on stage to me. Like, you were like, dude, we fucking have been like babies, and now we're like on the same tour package. It's like such a weird path that everything like turned out that we're just on this fucking tour together, and we're still hanging out and stuff like that. It was such a synchronicity.
And you guys are working for Satan. So
something backfired in the early life.
If you think about it, it's like if they eradicated catechism, I bet you more kids would get hooked on the Bible.
That's like a death metal song title. This next one is called Eradication of Catechism. Like it's like got the right syllables. It like punctuates properly. It hits. But so I'm trying to think of how Justin and I really met. I remember, I think Wes from Alluvial fame, I think he posted the Zenith passage being like, oh, there's like still good tech death metal coming out. This is kind of shocking. Because there was like a drought for a long time. I feel like we're in like tech death heaven right now. There's so many bands that like I can't even listen to them. It's just like, this is probably better than anything I've ever done, but I just like can't commit to this right now. Yeah. But I remember reading that, and I think I left a comment or something. I was like, "Oh, actually, yeah, I didn't think this. I thought the genre kind of dried up." And then I heard that, and then I think we became Facebook friends or something. I think the first time we hung out, we went to the Star Wars movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Justin got us into the Star Wars movie for some reason with free popcorn, free sodas.
There, dude.
You guys snuck in or what?
We snuck in, yeah.
No, it was like friends and family night, and we went to the movies. It was tight.
Yeah, that was fun.
And then just from there, like we've got a group text going for the last few years. And there's just always these moments where I've like kind of playfully been like, oh, when you need somebody, let me know, or like when are we going to do a project, or when's this going to happen, or let's all do something, and then just kind of happened that it might work out for me to start doing some vocals for Zenith, and here we are. Now I got to learn this crazy back catalog of songs that Greg somehow pumped out of his voice, and
you got it, dude.
Yeah, I'm in like deep listening mode right now. Like full disclosure, I hardly listen to music these days. Like I'm not one of those people, like I work a lot and I'm one of those people who can't like listen and work at the same time because like I get so invested in trying to figure out the songs. Like even if it's not something I'm working on, I'm like, whoa, that's super interesting. I'm going to listen to that like 5 times. Then I get distracted from working. So I just like sit in silence and stare into the void. And but so now like when I'm driving anywhere or like walking my dog, I put the Zenith passage on and I'm just like memorizing and it's also inspiring for like what I need to aspire to do on future songs as we start to work on more and more new stuff.
Definitely. I actually got a quick random story that I always want to tell the fucking podcast. So I just got this in the mail the other day. So it's a Spastic Ink vinyl.
I sent Trevor the link to that. He probably turned you onto it.
I knew this was gonna come up, dude.
No, he did. He's like, you haven't ordered yours? What's going on? It has like a fucking his is open and stuff. It has a bunch of cool stories about every song.
Oh,
and
that's
like
sick.
it's super. It's a double vinyl, and so
awesome.
Jarzenbeck did a solo on our album in 2007 or 6, and basically he came out to a show in San Antonio, and we're all hanging out there and just Jarzenbeck shows up. We're like, shit, he actually showed up. Like, oh fuck, like it's actually like a thing now. Like we're like kind of freaked out because it's like Jarzenbeck. It's like one of my favorite guitar players. I'm sure most people's favorite guitar players if you're into like the crazy technical weird stuff, and I actually was like trying to get him. I talked about in the Michael episode, but I was trying to get him to go up to Michael and just go like this and be like, and then walk away. Was like my main thing. I was like joking around with him, and then fucking he was leaving. I think it was like the end of the show. And it's me, Derek, and I forget who was sitting next to me, but it was me, Derek, and we're sitting at like a bar outside at the White Rabbit. And he's saying bye, and fucking we're doing the handshakes and hugs, and then Derek puts his hand out, and Jarzenbeck just misses it and just like walks right by him, and fucking Derek just turns without a fucking like a beat, just turns to goes all "Dissed by the Jars." He started like literally, it's still a thing we talk about to this day, and that happened
Dude, I love that
ago.
story, dude.
Dissed by the Jars.
Dissed by the Jars.
His eyes were like this. Derek's eyes were like this. He'll diss by the Jars.
What's funny is that as soon as I found out that we were having the Zenith Passage episode, and Derek was dissed by the Jars immediately. Wait, give me that Anthony Drunk alert thing because I can't even spit words out right now. But yeah, dude, dissed by the Jars immediately came to my head, dude. I'm like, this has got to come up tonight at some point, dude.
Yeah. No, I saw that when we were first starting. I was like, dude, I'm fucking grabbing that album. I was gonna like show it off at first, and I was like, no, I got a story behind this. Dissed by the Jars is still a fucking saying.
Vinyl, dude. Is that a colored vinyl or is it just regular?
It's actually it's pretty cool because it's one of those splattered vinyls, one of those splatter paint vinyls. But the thing is, it's like the fucking
Spastic Ink all over it.
Yeah. It's like one of the first albums that makes sense, like with like
splattered,
doing that with splattered,
Well, what's interesting about that release is that they just repressed it on vinyl, and I sent it to Trevor, who you guys all know, who maybe the friends of the podcast know. He lives with Joel, but the good homie, and I sent it to him, and then as we were looking at it, there's 2 versions of each one. They did a pressing with vocals and a pressing without vocals for each of the.
Shit.
I'm not sure how many records they have, but for the 2 records that they had repressed,
2 records, yeah.
And so I just thought that was interesting. They have an instrumental version and a non-instrumental version.
Incompatible.
The one after this has vocals, so maybe they did a pressing of Incompatible with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just thought that was pretty interesting because like vinyl's hard to make right now, and like there's enough appetite for that to make 2 different pressings.
It's cool, the resurgence in physical media. Cassette.
Yeah, totally.
The minimal 100 cassette runs and these vinyl pressings that everybody's doing now. It's super cool to have our record as a vinyl now.
Yeah.
I finally got a vinyl of my own album. It's cool,
That's what it took for me to start buying physical media again. Like I hit a life goal a few years ago of getting a record on Relapse Records with John Frum. And like Relapse does sick vinyl pressings, and like we got to be part of the decision making process of like, oh, how's it gonna, what's it gonna look like? Let's do it this way. We only had one colored variant, but it like works perfectly with the record. And I got my 3 copies, and I was like, well, now I got to put these somewhere. And I was like, these are so cool too. And like I just had like a moment where I was like, I need to start supporting music again, because like I want people to have my record, so I should get other people's records too. And like I have this. It's not like crazy big, but it's like hundreds of records big in the last few years, because I was just like you said, there's all these limited pressings. I listen to like pretty obscure, like unlistenable black metal these days, and it's just like raw shit that nobody wants to hear. But for whatever reason, there's like a very small corner of the world that wants to hear it. So it's like out of 100 records, out of 50, like you have to be up at 6 a.m. and it sells out instantly, and it's just like. I don't know. It's kind of fun being a collector of it, and you get to support underground music. Like I even find myself buying records that I'm not like super stoked on, but it's just like these guys deserve recognition and some money, so I'm going to buy this thing.
Oh yeah.
And it comes as a whole little package, dude. And that's the whole thing. It's like the flipping through the booklet and reading all the
reading
lyrics
everything,
and seeing all the inner artwork and reading all the liner notes of who was involved, and it's a whole process, and you're doing that while you're listening to the record. And yes, you just have this we grew up as collectors, so it's like putting your shit out, alphabetizing, cleaning up your
I love that alphabetized collection.
It's just like, if I want something, I know exactly how to find it, and
totally.
But
not to mention the smell too.
That oh yeah, dude. The rabbit hole of vinyl, though, is just something that I can't do as a father of 3 now, dude.
Yeah.
As soon as it happens, dude, I'm gonna be like, oh, dude, I gotta get this record player, I gotta get these needles, and then I'll just be on fucking discogs.com all motherfucking day, just digging through fucking virtual crates to find all the sick shit,
It's funny because vinyl, for like the longest time, or your parents might think it's like the cheapest format, right? Because it's like you go to Goodwill and you can get like a record for $0.25, but like metal vinyl isn't cheap, and like the resale on it's even crazier. It's almost like Jordans on the aftermarket or something.
Yep.
Like metal Jordans.
Like some of these records, you buy them for like $20, and the next day there's people flipping them for like 150, and it's like, first of all, that's like not what metal is about. Like, come on,
not at all.
We're a pretty small subgroup of folks here. We should be nice to each other and like support it properly. Or like, okay, if you sell that for $150, like please send $100 of it to the band,
right?
Or no one will ever do that, but
there's
it's
probably
it's antithetical to like, I think, our community to try and flip a product that somebody you admire created.
Well, that's the thing. Like the dudes who are hiking it up to 150 probably aren't even a fan of the band. They just, somehow found a situation where they know that they're like, it's a hot commodity, and if it's a limited thing, they're going to get in there because they're going to be able to make it, whatever they can make on the secondary.
Yeah,
totally.
It's like that with a bunch of shit.
Totally. There's a dude that we found on eBay who was selling a first pressing of Cosmic for like $100.
Really? Yeah. I went to a record store, I don't know, like 4 years ago, probably at this point, and they had a copy of Planetary up, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't know Planetary got made on vinyl. That's cool. And I got closer to it, and they're selling it for $150, and I was like, this is so fucking stupid. And so I'm not even in contact with like the record label people, but I like texted Ash immediately. I was like, I'm coming to the office. I'm getting some records. And like I grabbed like 10 of each record so I could give them to all the guys in the band, because I know for a fact most of us didn't have them. And then like recently, just like getting into record collecting, I've met people who are like, oh, if you ever come across like some Faceless records, I'll pay whatever you want for them, you know? And like I sold them to a couple people that I barely know the other day, but for $25 shipped or whatever, Yeah. I forget what I charged them, but it was like, this is what a metal record costs. I'm not going to charge you more for my thing because other people are willing to pay for it. That's not what we're here for.
Did he ask you to sign it and all that shit too?
One of them did, yeah.
What is
have a kick-ass summer.
What is it about 180 gram? Like the heavier the record, the better higher definition sound?
I think it's just the idea that like there's more surface area and more weight. So like a record could potentially slip, right? If there's not enough drag or if the drag is too much. So I think 180 gram just allows for the record to be flatter and like stay put.
Yeah.
Because like you can even buy like a little weight to put in the center of your turntable that will hold the record down. I bet like a heavier record might just perform a little better.
Okay.
Or it might resonate through the additional vinyl as well a little differently. I'm not sure though. I'm not too in the weeds on it. I just know they never warp.
Cost.
Thanks, David.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, I think that's
And it always
the
trips
main
me out.
attraction.
I probably already said this on the podcast in the past, but it's like to wrap your head around like it's a swirl from the center outward or inward. Where do you start a record?
Started on the outside and then it goes towards the center.
So and it swirls in ever so slightly, and it's following a pattern of grooves that eventually the vibrations of those grooves travel up the needle, and it's fucking the Faceless or Odious Mortem or
there's literally no way that anyone could explain how sound is produced off of any media that would make sense to me. It's like well, the CD is different because there's a lasers fucking shooting into this piece of plastic, and then it's like, what are you talking about? Like,
yeah, dude. It still blows my fucking head apart, dude.
It does not compute. And then like the idea that like the tiniest like microscopic groove in a piece of plastic on a record player that goes through this like neat hollow arm with a needle on the end of it comes out playing like fucking Epitaph. Like, wait.
I started to feel like giddy in my stomach and feeling like I have no idea what's going on right now.
It's truly magic unless you are smart and you understand it. But I'm going to suspend that disbelief and let it be magic.
We should bring Giannis on and see if he can explain how records work. He's the physics guy, dude.
Oh yeah, we had him on recently. He's the guy from Quo Vadis, and he basically quit Quo Vadis to be he has a physics degree.
Yeah, he's on some team or in some company that developed like a machine to catch cancer, right? Yeah. But he's also he's a physics major. He's a physicist, guys.
Well, it's one of those things though that like I don't care to understand.
Yeah.
Like it's almost fun this way. Like I went to the mystery spot 3 weeks ago in Santa Cruz. I don't know if you don't know what the mystery spot is, it's this gravitational anomaly in the middle of the forest where you go and you stand in this fucking shack, but you're standing at like a 45-degree angle. And they make water roll uphill. And they make it, it's a roadside attraction, and it's obviously a scam, but it's fucking awesome. And like when you're there, it's so fun. And it's just like, how are you doing this? It's like, I don't even care. I started to talk to my girlfriend about it after. I was like, what is it? Like, what's going on? She's like, it doesn't matter. Like it's better that you don't know. I'm sure we could look this up and figure it out, but like, why would you do that?
Yeah, it would take.
I mean, of course, like there's science behind everything, and you should do your best to understand things that are important to understand. But like for me, I'm fine just being like, whoa, I'm dropping a needle on this piece of plastic and now I've got my favorite music.
Maybe that's hitting up like the childhood like wonder of things, like we're actually getting like a little taste of what it was like to be a child and just to have like this wonder about some certain thing.
Yeah.
But it's so fascinating, so mesmerizing, but you can't explain it to our brains at that time because we wouldn't be able to understand it. And we still have those situations now as adults, and riding that out instead of just fucking figuring it out. That's boring, dude.
Yeah. Well, what I think is really cool about vinyl too is that it's like a super, super old thing that has somehow stood the test of time. So like, I'm not even going to try and date it, but probably like a couple hundred years at least of people listening to music in this capacity, and somehow it has like maintained. I think that's something pretty cool to hang on to from like a traditional
audiophile like ways too. It's still like considered like one of the better ways to listen to music. It's like
I honestly don't buy that. Like
I don't have a record player, so I can't.
I like though like what Anthony was talking about earlier, where it's kind of like it becomes you have to go and decide that you're going to listen to music right now. It's not like I'm going to walk the dog. I might as well listen to some Zenith Passage to learn the songs. It's like I'm making the conscious decision to like disturb my organized music, set it up, clean the disc, drop the record, sit on the couch, open the booklet, read all the lyrics, and like I find it to be. It's probably all bullshit because you can do that with any media, but for me, it's the media that connects me a little deeper with it.
Ritual.
I remember sitting and just being high as fuck, reading along to like Agoraphobic Nosebleed, Frozen Corpse stuff with dope, and you're just like, the fuck's going on in my head or their heads right now?
The record fucking rules.
Yeah,
dude, that whole band rules so hard.
Agorapocalypse is like such a good record. If you haven't listened to it in the last few years, like
that's the one that I try and say, okay, guys, I've been saying Agoraphobic Nosebleed for so many years, and you guys laugh at me all the time. This one, please sit down, because they finally got something that I guarantee you would be down with, like DK, Dan Kenny. That was the first Agoraphobic Nosebleed record where he was like, oh shit, okay, they fucking are dope, you know.
I listened to them recently.
Yeah, check it all out, dude. Just fucking cyber grind your psychedelic mind, dude.
Damn, son.
Damn,
bumper
son.
sticker.
You guys were talking about, like childish kind of ways of asking questions about. I just taught a lesson today, and I have like a 7 or 8 year old guitar student, and I like brought my electric today. We usually do like acoustic and acoustic, but I just forgot my acoustic, so I just brought my electric from my car in. And she was like, so why is an electric not as loud as an acoustic? And I like explained the difference between like a hollow body guitar and the wood, and how the wood resonates. And like, it's true. Like kids like ask all these questions that like we just take for granted, but like not a lot of people could even explain how a guitar works, if you actually have to ask. So I don't know. It's just cool that you mentioned that. I just like thought back to that today.
The wonder.
Oh yeah,
Wonder, dude.
Mystery.
And then I was like, you suck. We got to get you better real fast. Let's go.
Here's Epitaph, kid.
Exactly.
All right, let's do some 3-string boogie and let's get through this real fast. Because exactly.
I've made a
auditioning.
Yeah.
So.
I'm not going to achieve it, but I made like a goal that I want to learn how to play the Black Album on guitar like within a year. I think I can do it.
That's a goal. Yeah,
The whole thing.
I was like trying to learn some like kind of basic songs on guitar, and like as I was learning the shapes, I was like, I bet this is just Metallica songs too. And like I've started tabbing stuff out or looking up tabs rather. I was learning Sad But True the other day. I think I can do it,
dude. That album is sick, dude.
Yeah, it's good. Its production is incredible. The guitar
it's
tone,
one of my favorite productions ever.
dude, the drum production, everything about it. Is
So good. Yeah.
That's
Well,
some
at
of my
the time,
childhood
everybody's like-
wonder. My brother had the Black Album tab book, and I remember learning
sick.
I love Savage.
like
Understand
when I played that the first time, I was like, I can play guitar.
Yeah.
Now I probably could do it better then than I can now, but I want to get decent at guitar so I can like buy a cool guitar like this one. Wait,
Yeah.
how does the camera work?
That
Is it
Iron Bird, you gotta get that Iron.
I know I want an Iron Bird really bad. They're kind of
That was-
trendy right now for DM heads, but they're cool.
It's funny actually. You said DM. So when you were on Cheney and Naveen's podcast, we went to a bonfire like a couple days after got released, and I was like, dude, they say DM for everything, dude. Like, am I like forgetting? Am I like out of the loop? Am I out of the loop now? Like, what's going on? This is DM? And I was like, I think DM's kind of a funny thing to say now. Like, I think it's like dude,
That sounds like a pretty DM bonfire. You're
Hell
right.
yeah, dude.
Literally, I know.
Wish I was there.
exactly. I know. Trevor, I was talking to Trevor about that last night, and he was like, we were cracking up at Derek going like, dude, is that platform you use for the podcast? Is that pretty DM? Is that the DM? And I was like, all right.
Was I at that
The
bonfire?
DM thing to me,
What does it mean? What do you wait? What?
death metal.
Death metal.
Oh,
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought of reference.
For me, it's almost like it almost became like a Tim and Eric sketch, when it's like the first 10
Dave
times they
Matthews.
say the word, it's not funny.
Yeah,
And then like
dude.
once you commit to saying it, so yeah,
Brother.
it eventually like it became funny to me. Like, I was like, why have I said this so much? I'm going to continue saying it. And like it was working for me. I think we were just kind of DM vibing.
What's
DM
working for
vibe.
me right now is that every fucking reference you have this podcast, you sound like you should be my best friend, Derek. Dude.
Let's be best friends.
You guys
Never
look
too
like-
late. We look the
Gore
same.
You guys look like brothers,
Tim and
dude.
Eric, fucking Opeth. What else do we got? Everything I was just like, ding, ding,
agoraphobic.
ding,
Playing
ding,
Elden
ding.
Ring right now. What's up, brother?
Oh, no, he doesn't. No, he's into a bunch of underground black metal though. He's like,
I am, dude. When you were like unlistenable black metal, I'm like, wait, I can listen to that.
He's all Dota. yeah, yeah. Oh,
No,
fuck
dude,
yeah.
for sure. I'm down with all the weird Norwegian shit. I love fucking. I like that second wave that got like really avant-garde and weird, dude. Like all that stuff that came out of, because black metal was strange. Because as soon as it got popular, none of them wanted to do it anymore.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like-
A lot of even like changed
Yeah.
styles, like over stop
Because
being a
that's-
black metal band.
Exactly. That's like because the whole point of it was that they were trying to do something that nobody else was doing, and then then other people started doing it, and they're like, okay, well, let's do something else now.
Yeah.
And so yeah, those guys that were like pushing that envelope and really expanding the walls and boundaries of what was going on there, like that little flare up right there is like my favorite spot in Norwegian black metal history.
I like
Totally.
I like a lot of what the French folk have been doing
Oh,
the
absolutely.
last few years.
Yeah,
Like I mean, Deathspell Omega.
Deathspell is where it started
just-
for me to get into the French scene. But yeah, dude, Deathspell.
We can kind of start and end the conversation with Deathspell, but like
Yeah.
there's a lot of people in France who are doing really fucking sick.
Call
especially
back.
band.
Call
like
back
this
to
band.
SNN News real
Damn.
quick. That's where I found Deathspell was like there was like a avant-garde, weird, twisted little thread where everybody was just dropping a bunch of that shit, and all of a sudden I found Foss, and I was just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. Harmonically,
Twisted.
it's super.
Dare something, Dare Free. What's that one band? Dare
I
something. Yeah.
I know
Frightheart or
Cheney and Naveen are all about them.
Yeah,
now.
that's the one I heard.
This band, I'm wearing their T-shirt called Plebeian Grandstand.
Like one of the best albums.
They
last
put
year.
out my favorite record of last year,
Nice.
Chaos.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Pure
I actually
anger,
haven't dug
dude.
deep, but I've heard of them.
I celebrate their discography, but the one that might be a better starting point would be the previous record called False Highs, True Lows.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And it's just
But you say it was I remember you showed me them and you're like, yeah, it's like a digestible death spell.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, interesting.
It's almost like you could listen to it and remember a part. So, but the new one is
Deathspell,
nuts.
dude. That's like that's a lyric right there, dude.
That's another
Dude.
song title.
For real.
Dude, we are
fucks? Digestible death spell.
What
Yeah,
about
have you
Blood
heard
Out
this
Nord?
band?
What did we
Oh,
say
yeah,
earlier?
that's
It was eradicate
Catechism. Catechism eradication. And then like it depends how many syllables you need to fit the riff. And you
Right,
just
right.
like finesse it
the
properly.
Asian, or yeah.
Yeah. Asian. you know. Of the and we got tricks in the DM game.
Good job. For sure.
Hell yeah.
Fuck.
What do we got coming up then, Justin? We're in a band now. We're friends. We're in a band. We're playing music.
Playing DM. Joel,
You guys are
like
doing
subliminal.
a little.
Part of
This is an
Sorry,
unbelievable
dude, plug it
tour,
up
to be
top.
honest.
yeah. So you're doing.
I wish we were on
20
more of it.
May 24th to 27th. So you're doing
All the Cali dates.
Oh fuck yeah. Yeah. So are you gonna be in?
I can't see where.
We'll be in Berkeley.
We'll see
Oh,
you
yeah.
at Berkeley.
I will be
I
there.
hope to
I
see
will be there.
everybody on this call at least one of these dates.
Yeah, all the homies.
Oh, brick by brick, I see it. Oh,
Yeah.
Nice.
Gotta come out, man.
Cool.
Dude, Alluvia. Yeah, Jesus. I remember
Yeah,
we
it's
did a Warforged
stacked.
episode. And he's all. I got a fucking sick tour announcement, but I can't say it. And after it was over, he was like, dude, it's gonna be fucking Fallujah, Rivers of Nile, Alluvial. I don't know. I was like so stoked because to see like
It's good
Wes
for
out
them.
there. Yeah,
That
yeah.
Berkeley Cornerstone spots. I've been hearing good things about.
I
that.
like
I've
that
never
spot.
been over there.
Never been.
It's really cool. We played the Death Fest there, Bay Area Death Fest there.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Awesome. They have
Yeah,
like
I'm gonna-
really good beer selection.
I'm gonna
Like,
see
menu.
Leprous there. Leprous there on the 24th. You know,
Nice.
anything-
Love leprous.
yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Def leprous.
Definitely. That's sick though. I mean, so I mean, after this, I mean, obviously, so you guys obviously are working on stuff. Is there like album things? Is there like what can you tell us about what's coming up in your guys' future?
Yeah, there's 2 albums coming out. One of which that is, I think they're together cohesively. I think they balance each other, but they're vastly different from one another. One's like a death metal record, like purely DM and like mechanical. TDM, yeah, very mechanical in a sense, and the other one's like very symphonic and more human.
SDM.
You planned that one pretty good.
I'm gonna start saying "damn" forever now. It's DM now. I'm fucked.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so like, yeah, just getting those done. We have another song coming out very soon. Music video, all that good stuff, and then
If anybody's still in the chat room, I don't know how this thing works, but we need some ideas for a music video. Feel free to drop them in the chat if you got them.
We're doing green screen. That's all.
Yeah, we're doing green screen again.
Okay,
the last one came out pretty fucking funny.
What's
So.
what's the concept of the song? Like maybe that should have something to do with the video.
It's too tech, man. The video would implode. No, it's kind of like aligned with the similar theme of the previous song, where it's just about like how we have this amazing tool of technology that can bring people together, but seems to be pretty divisive, at least at this point in the timeline.
Totally.
And just kind of like how even if you think you're being brought together, there's something happening, whether you know it or not, or it knows it or not, that is like just trying to segregate each person away into their own little rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Is, can be cool for some things, but can be dangerous for others, and like not cool at all for many things. So
yeah,
it's kind of, I mean, I work at a giant tech company and think about algorithms and how technology interfaces with people all the time. So it's kind of thinking about the DM side of all that and bringing it into the light.
Dude, that's gonna be like a new thing on the show now, dude. I'm gonna start figuring out all the things I could use DM for.
Hell yeah.
It's
You just
funny
say
'cause,
that's DM, dude.
Yeah. No, I saw that episode with you guys and Cheney and Naveen and stuff, and I was like, I was maybe I was kind of butthurt. I was like, dude, I want to be a part of the making that DM thing. That would be fun. But now I'm going to use it forever. But that's awesome. Yeah, that's definitely
death metal is hard to say. It's like you got to go from to really fast.
Yeah, dude, fuck that.
DM.
Much work, man.
All about efficiency over here.
Or, I mean, just to
that's why Justin picks like this.
Expand for oh my god,
Accent, dude.
I want to expand for Oh, I can't even fucking
just do an abbreviation, dude. ESM.
Yeah, ESS.
I just want to expand.
EFS.
For a second, I just want to expand. It doesn't have to be for a certain amount of time.
It's all right.
It's because we were talking about physical stuff earlier. What you're talking about is eliminated the physical aspect of connection, and that's the divisiveness that's happening within what you're talking about, dude. Like the internet being a way that we can all be so connected, yet we're not. The physical connection is lost.
I mean, it kind of started as it's. Don't get me wrong. Like, we love to focus on the negative. The biggest complainers have the loudest voices, et cetera, et cetera. The internet is a wonderful tool that has done far more good than it could ever do bad, I think. But,
definitely.
We get to see as it gets more and more used, and, more and more people have more and more avenues to express more and more things. We get to find out about really good things and really bad things. And I think maybe when it started, it was more like, I think I'm stealing this from a documentary, but it's like, it was like about sharing cat pictures and like sending an email to your grandma, like, isn't this crazy? This isn't a letter anymore. Yeah. Here's a picture of me. And then like how quickly it evolves into me like posting on Lambgoat being like, fuck you. Yeah. Like, Hatebreed is the best band ever. Like, Oh, I forgot to talk about one of the most important steps on my musical journey was when I bought the Hellfest 2000 DVD.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And the Hellfest 2000 DVD, Hellfest was a show that took place in New Jersey with like all the sickest hardcore bands. And so this one had like Converge and Bane and One King Down, and I think Hatebreed was on it, and 18 Visions, Poison the Well. And that was like another, like it went like Great Southern Trendkill. And then it went like Hellfest 2000 DVD. And I was like, oh my God, like this is bringing something that I didn't know. And I still can't describe, but like something clicked there for me. I also remember
Red Chord on that. Red Chord played.
No,
that year?
I don't even think Red Chord was.
There was a Hellfest
quite
that
around.
did have Red Chord on it.
It was like one of the early ones. It was like I remember Derek bringing this over when we were like jamming together back in the day. He was like, dude, this fucking thing, check this out.
Like,
and we'd watch it like religiously. We'd watch it.
Well,
all
because
the
we
time.
hadn't seen crowds like that, I don't think, before. Like how people act at like a hardcore show is a lot different than people act at a DM show. And like there's like people jumping out of the rafters of this building and like tearing the stage down, and like they had to shut the headlining band off because it was getting too crazy. And it was just like, what the fuck is going on here? Yeah. And like that I think might have been what sparked it for me. And like, how can I get closer to that energy? And I just wanted to shout out Hellfest 2000 DVD before I lost that opportunity. But back on like to the internet thing, like it's pretty much designed to be a global community, but like communities can kind of become toxic, and certain things get that attention. So don't get me wrong, like I love playing games with the boys. I love going on there, and I chat with my friends every day on it, but you know, especially what we've seen over the last couple of years, what's going on in the world these days over COVID, you know, there's just like a lot of stuff floating around. And if you get on, I don't want to say the wrong track, because you're a human and you can decide whatever track is right for you. But if you get put on like a path you didn't really mean to, it's going to take you down there because it thinks that's what you like. And pretty soon you might be thinking the wrong thing. You might get taken down the path you think is wrong, and maybe it's right. But there's just like something out of all of our control. And like I work at Netflix, and we have a very powerful, you know, tool that figures out what you like to watch. You know, that's like what makes Netflix pretty cool. It does a good job at figuring out who you are and what you like. But it's also really scary. And so like YouTube does the same thing on like a way grander scale. It's not just like fictional entertainment. It can take you down anywhere. And I'm not really much of a YouTube watcher, so I can't speak much more than that. But I just watched some documentaries, got inspired about, you know, where we are as a society and where we are in humanity, and what to maybe be cautious of or be aware of. And
totally, dude. As a dad, I know that YouTube can be a very, very dangerous thing for your children if you don't pay attention. So I don't even really let them go on YouTube because of the innocence and how so quickly they can be taken down a path of you know, there's really weird shit, dude. There's
first you're watching a toy unboxing video, next thing you're like whipping baking soda in the Pyrex. Your kids know how to make crack all of a sudden. Like,
I heard about like people who like dress up in like Spider-Man costumes and shit, but then they do like weird inappropriate things with other characters, and they make it all look like it's the same thing. Like if you saw a list of videos that would be the algorithm of your child's watching, it would be right in there looking exactly the same as everything else, dude. But they're like pushing different weird ideas into your children, and if you're not paying attention, dude, then
I'm glad I'm not on that algorithm. That one sounds mine's like Elden Ring, and then it's like, but don't you want to know about Bloodborne? And I'm like,
it's coming to PC, dude.
I wanna know more about Bloodborne. And it's like, well, did you know about Demon Souls? And I'm like, well, yeah, I played it when it came out on PS3, but
I'd like
let's go.
I'd like a reminder session.
Yeah. I don't have time to play it again, so tell me all about it so I can relive it.
Yeah. Totally, dude. And
that's almost
as an adult, like, you know what's right and what's wrong. But just for like the parents out there who are just like, oh, I got YouTube on my fucking TV now. I can set it and forget it for my kids, and I can go do my own thing while my kids plop down in front of the TV or whatever. They're eventually going to get to a video that is going to feed them some information that you didn't even know they got fed. And then, your kid's already tarnished from this video and you didn't even have anything to do with it because you weren't paying attention. Well, you did have something to do with it because you weren't paying attention.
Yeah, it's better they grow up and discover Brother Lynch on their own when they're little.
Much respect.
As I'm saying this right now, my kid is a fifth grader, and the first time I heard Lynch was in fifth grade, dude.
Yeah, I think I got Death Row Greatest Hits in like fourth grade.
Yeah, it was my parents definitely were listening to the music that I was listening to make sure it was wholesome entertainment for a 10-year-old.
Yeah, I was reflecting on that recently because like one of my favorite comics growing up was The Max. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's by
comics.
Sam Keith. Yeah, comic books.
Yeah,
I know this is a big stand-up group, so comic book called The Max, MAXX, and MTV had like a cartoon about it. But it's like really, really dark and like really adult themed. And I had no business reading it when I did. And I was just like, my parents were probably just so excited to get me away from them for like an hour when it took me like to read the comic that they just didn't give a shit. They're like, this makes him quiet. And we can like go, like sit in the garden and be quiet for a while.
That's a trip though. Just thinking about like how we used to have to like find our own path with music, and the things that we had to like search for back in the day are now algorithms in which like you search for a few things, and now it's like this is what you need. It's like this is what's popular. This is what like because you clicked on this. This is what you need to look at now. Back in the day,
I find a lot of cool music this way. Like
totally,
me too,
like, I like a lot of electronic music. Like I'm pretty sufficient finding metal these days, but like I like a lot of electronic music, and if I listen to, or like that's maybe something I can listen to while I'm working, and I'll put that on, and then like everything is like, oh, he likes this now, and it'll feed me all this cool stuff, and like I might not ever return to it, but like it makes me cool mixtapes, or it makes me something, and I'm like, I get it, but it can do that with anything. So
well, I'm just saying, I was like when the Hellfest 2000 or before that, like this is like feeding you like your young mind. Like now we're like, oh, cool. That's cool. This relates to the interest that I have. I will click it and I will listen to it. But like as a kid, like clicking around and stuff, it's just like it just forms. It's like it just gives you stuff now, and you're like you're a young mind. You're going like, oh, okay, well, this looks cool now because I clicked this or something like that, and it's like it gives you a path that we had to kind of carve ourselves. I don't know if that makes much sense.
Yeah.
I just realized. Wait, real quick. Derek just dropped the Death Row reference, dude. You didn't even stand up and do your little fucking t-shirt fucking.
Hell yeah, dude. That's
live,
so
laugh,
sick.
love, dude.
Didn't Snoop Dogg just acquire Death Row Records?
Oh, did he?
In the last couple weeks.
Oh wait,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
no,
sick,
you're
dude.
right, dude. I do remember hearing something.
They got Suge out of there.
Crazy, bro. That's sick, though.
I think the criminal system got Suge out of there, but
I think that's true too.
well, actually, here's a question I want to ask about fucking Justin's hair. So, like the product that you use and that beautiful fucking mane that you have, Jesus Christ!
Why
So,
you
like,
gotta talk about hair?
well,
Come on, man.
you've been talking for. We need to talk about a fucking Panty Pro V or whatever the fuck he uses because
Mute.
I need to fucking
Yes.
that fucking mane that you have, man. That's a beautiful fucking head of hair.
I'm
man. not gonna lie.
I'm touching my freshly shaved head because I'm like, I wish I had that mane. I had to shave this because my shit's fucking falling out of my head since 26.
I don't know. I think it's just whatever Nicole gets me. I just put in there. That's
Uh,
literally all it
Is
is.
it like Fructis or what's going on there?
you're
I
totally
don't
you're
know.
totally
Fruity.
me.
Garnier.
Garnier?
My wife buys all my shit for me too, dude. I'm just like, hey, get me soap, get me fucking.
Yeah,
I don't
just
need
put it in there,
shampoo,
just-
really. I'll use like a little dab, like a little fucking not even a dime size, dude, and I'll just rub it in like lotion.
Is that like just part of the ritual? Like the
Well,
good
it's
old
like,
days?
no, what I'm thinking is like, okay, I'm going to use shampoo because I think that the stuff in there is also for your scalp. If I use the same body wash shit, I might end up with like more dandruff up there. So
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah,
all right,
dude.
I'm going to use the shampoo, just a little dime size, and just like scrub it in like lotion.
You got to keep it hydrated, dude.
Keep it hydrated, dude. Keep that dome hydrated.
That's actually, if anyone's listening, I actually just figured this out like last week. So I was getting a bunch of dandruff, and I was like, what the fuck? I'll get the dandruff shampoo because I have dandruff. And I was talking to my girlfriend. She was all like, dude, the dandruff shampoo, like if you don't normally have dandruff, that's
going to make
give you
have
dandruff
it because it's going to want you keep.
And I was
It's
like,
going to keep you buying
just
it.
be a fucking snowstorm like on my shoulders. Like it was gnarly. I was like, Jesus Christ. And she's like, dude, get a fucking hydrating fucking shampoo. And I got that, and it all went away like within a day. Like it was gone. But anyways, you got beautiful hair.
Yeah,
man.
she Nicole just said biotin shampoo and hair mask.
There it is.
That's what it is.
All right, so
Pro tip.
you use code
Pro tip from
Cali Death
Cali
Biotin website for 5% off your order.
Oh
For
man,
like half of tax if you want half of tax off.
Selsun Blue moisturizing.
Oh,
works.
Selsun Blue.
Oh, tea
Jesus
tree oil.
Christ.
I'm reading her because she's all about it now. And tea tree oil. I remember.
I thought tea
using
tree
that
oil.
too.
I thought it.
But
I thought that
it
dried
feels
your
weird.
scalp.
Like if you let it sit, it like starts to feel like
doesn't smell.
like nerves are starting to pop off.
Dude.
That Dr. Bronner's will get you.
Dude, Dr. Boner.
That peppermint joint.
That's what I do.
Dr. Boners.
I've hung out
Well,
with the CEO, of
Dr. Bronner?
Bronner's. Yep.
The
David
doctor
Bronner.
himself.
Wait, that is so random, dude.
Was
How
it
did
an
you
was it an audition?
How did you
An
hang out with him, and what did you do?
I know. It's
He's
an
a-
audition tape.
He's a
Casting couch.
he's a big supporter of psychedelics, and
Oh shit!
he's friends with all the people at MAPS. So when I
So
worked
that-
there, he was at all the events. He would like write like op-eds and like the materials they published and stuff too. And like he pledged like $5 million to MAPS,
my God.
like legalization efforts and stuff. And so we'd go to these MAPS conferences, and he would roll in all high as fuck. And then he'd like be there all day, like doing the science conference. And then at night he would like go out and like it'd be like this dubstep fucking Spangle like event in like San Francisco, just super gnarly. And David Bronner's there just like dancing, and I got to like hang out with him.
Dude,
and
does anybody
and
know
also
about
at Burning
Spangle
Man
on
too.
here?
I love Spangle, dude.
That's
One of the
dope.
top 10 artists for me, maybe top 15.
No shit. I
Yeah.
love that stuff, dude. I
Yeah,
really
love that,
do.
man.
That,
Yeah.
that the psychedelic, community is what fed me that.
Osric Tentacles, that's who you should check out next.
Oh,
They're like
dude, totally. It's like
Yeah.
it's like prog synth. Like,
exactly.
yep.
It's like
What's it
Joel,
called?
do you
what's
remember-
going on?
Do you remember
that?
when we were on tour with Suffocation and they always wanted to listen to Coil?
The like
Wait, Joel's told this story. I know all of
No,
it.
it
not
was
the
soil.
black
It
metal
was soil.
coil.
Wasn't it
It
soil?
was Coil.
Coil?
It was like an industrial kind of
Yeah.
industrial
yeah.
EDM. And they'd be like, I want to put the fucking Coil on. And like on the bus, like hammered, drunk, wanting to listen to Coil.
I love listening to like VNV Nation. You guys like that shit? VNV Nation? You ever heard of that? Industrial. You just brought up industrial, so I'm just
He's like, I'm gonna drop a
dropping
random
the
one on you
names.
guys.
Come on, guys.
I know, like I've heard it. There's like this industrial club in LA that I've had a lot of fun at, and they would definitely be playing that stuff. They would have like 3 rooms. They would have like the kind of like mainstream like gothic industrial music coming out. Then they had a 90s room, and then they had like this little shack of a room downstairs called the noise room, and that's pretty much where I would hang out. But yeah, they would definitely play some VNV at that place.
Hell yeah.
Actually, you talk about Opeth and like how big of an influence is, and for both of us and stuff. But the thing is, actually, one story I actually rarely told is that we were playing Hard Rock in Vegas, and I was like on the fence of Opeth. I was like, and like I think you and Keen like were like, no, dude, this is what you have to listen to, and you guys gave me because they were playing it over the PA after you guys were done playing, and I was like, this shit's fucking sick. And I think you came up to me, and was, it's fucking Opeth, dude. Like it's fucking Ghost Reveries. Where have you been living? Like,
Yeah, where you
that
been?
first introduction,
and I was
it
like, I
Ghost
literally
Reveries?
I was literally just going like this. I'm in love with this. Like we were like loading gear out, and I was like, this is fucking amazing. And that's where it started for me. I like pushed off Opeth. I was like, just maybe the logo turned me off. I have no idea. Like I'm so
I pushed them
embarrassed.
off for a similar reason for a really long time. I had a friend who had an Opeth poster up in their room, but it was alongside posters of bands I didn't like at all.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I was like, well, it must be just like that.
Yeah.
And like for the longest time, I pushed him off. And I was like, what was wrong with me? And now like it's funny because I like all the bands that were on that wall at this point. And it was like Mars Volta and I can't remember. I can't remember who else, but you know, it was like posters that now I'm like, yeah, those are fucking sick posters. But I kind of mentioned it earlier. The only person I've ever like approached who I don't know after a show in like the metal community was Michael Ackerfeld. After we played this fest in I don't know, the Czech Republic, and Brutal Assault. It was rad. It was such a good show. And then like he was there. I think they were either playing the next night or Bloodbath was playing something. I don't remember, but I was like, I think I just got a digital camera like for the first time, and I was like, I gotta get a picture with Michael Ackerfeld. And like, I walked up and I was just like, hey, like I'm really sorry to bother you. I was with Brandon, and I was just like, you're just like really the only metal vocalist I admire, and I'd just like to meet you. Sorry, like, can I get a picture? And he was really cool, and he was like really nice. He's like, oh, like what are you doing here? And it's like, oh, we're playing with this band. I play in this band. He's like, what band? He's like, you wouldn't know. He's like, no, like, who's your band? I said, oh, we're called The Faceless. He's like, oh, like, I don't even know if he has a son, but he's like, oh, my son likes you guys. And like, I don't know if he was just making that up, but I was like, oh, that's really cool.
It's like 18.
Yeah. And then like later on that run, we played a fest with Bloodbath. Like, I saw him again, and I didn't drink at this time. Him and a guy from Catatonia, because that's like who Bloodbath is, we're just slugging this bottle of vodka. And I went up to say hi to him again. I was just like, oh, hey, like, what's up? We're crossing paths again. And like I said like 5 words, and the guy from Catatonia was just all, no talk, just drink. And he handed me this bottle, and I was like, had this like serious quandary of like my entire life flashing before my eyes as like a edging out of straight edge person.
Right.
And I was just like, like, yeah, took the drink. I was like, this has to be one of the moments.
That's the way to do it, man.
That wasn't like the only time, like, you know, I had drank like maybe once or twice before. I didn't know if it was for me yet, but I was still like overcoming like this whatever stigma I had attached to it.
Yeah.
So that was a funny moment. I was like trying to
to
bother him again, you know, basically, and they're like, just shut up, have a drink and leave. What's up?
You had only drank a handful of times before that or whatever?
Yeah. The first time I drank was on tour in Japan, and Lyle, our drummer at the time, and Brandon pulled me aside. And like we were all friends in the band, but I don't know, we were kind of like being buddies on that run, and they're like, all right, man, we're in Japan. You're with your really good friends. It's time to have like a cultural experience. We're going to take you to the sake bar and like the karaoke bar, and you're going to have a good time, and you're going to drink. Doesn't mean that you're a drinker. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong, but like we think you should do this. And I was just like, that sounds reasonable. You know, let's go. And the same thing kind of happened at a fest we played in. But I was like an actively straight edge person for a really long time.
You were.
Like I was not
growing up and stuff. That's what
I was not down like at all. And like I was really pissed. My band in high school, we won the Battle of the Bands, and then they just bought a sack with it. It was like $100, and they bought like 100 sack and smoked it that day.
So that obviously came from the punk days.
No, it was
yeah.
Me and
Derek I was friends with some guys who were like into hardcore when I was like they were in high school. I was in junior high, and like I thought they were really cool, and they taught me about that thing, straight edge, and I was like not just like. I didn't know there was a name for it, or I didn't know that there was like other people, or that there was an opinion to have on it, or there's a community to have an opinion on it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, these guys are really cool, and they like all the same music I like, and like we're skating and we're listening to music and like having a good time. Like, yeah, I think this is what I'm going to align with. And then just over time, like, you know, I just realized you can be the same person. Most people can probably be the same person while imbibing or indulging in whatever vice that they like within reason.
Man, it's got a drink.
Man's got to drink.
I can't
Man's
even
got to
tell
be
you
high sometimes. You know, it's like
how many people with XXX tattoos that I've taken shots with. You know, like
yeah.
it's like a childhood thing. They're like, you know, they get like basically like indoctrinated because they're like, oh, like-minded minds. Let's fucking hang out. Let's not do drugs. Let's be sober. Let's do that. And then they get like they turn 22 or something. They're like, all right, well,
It's also like hard to drink when you're not 21. Like you got to like find someone to buy you alcohol. I think it's pretty convenient to be straight edge until you're 21. But not to like dismiss it, but I was sober until I think 26.
What about weed?
I don't fuck with it.
Have you ever?
It's not for me. Yeah, I have. I try it like maybe quarterly. I probably actually haven't smoked in like a year, but it's always bad for me. Like
really, it just gets to that.
I wish it was good. Like most of my friends like smoking, and
but
I'm from a town that everybody assumes I smoke. It's like a lot of effort to explain that I don't, but
no,
it's just
for
like,
sure, dude. I
grow like a self-conscious voice in the back of my head, and like I remember I went to see like Enslaved and Yob, I think, and like I love Yob. Yob is a favorite band of mine, and I smoked weed by myself in the car, and then get high because this is stoner metal. And I got in there and they played like one riff and I was like, this fucking sucks. And like my head, the second voice in my head was like, you like this? Like, you're like, who are you trying to fool? And I remember distinctly it said, my second voice said to me, it was like, no wonder this shit's unpopular. Like, and then like I tried like watching my favorite movie or something a year later while high, and the voice popped up again and he was like, you're pretentious, you asshole. And I was just like, I don't like that one. I'm not gonna let him out anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, weed definitely brings out the internal dialogue. Like it brings out like a dialogue, it's like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 of your life. Like it's like it's like three guys just like judging you, like, oh, you're gonna do that? This fucking band sucks. Like, wait, you know. But actually, it's funny. Yob is playing with Trevor's band in a couple days, and
they're so sick. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but like they're so good live, and the guy is like such a sweetheart.
You're making a decision for me because I was gonna see it's Car Bomb and BT Bam and at the Catalyst at the Catalyst.
Oh,
but the thing is though, the next day they're playing in Berkeley, and Trevor and I are we're gonna see him in Berkeley. So it's like, I kind of wanted to see him twice though, but I don't know Yob, so I'm like, you know, I wasn't like didn't know if Yob was
15-minute long low ass songs.
Yeah, about to like.
Justin, you like Yob?
I don't think I've actually gotten through a song. I'm not gonna lie. I appreciate it, but
so I'm half and half.
I need to digest it. I need to digest it.
Listen to like a song off their latest record. It's called Our Raw Heart. If you like one of them, you're probably
like your stream of like Trevor and stuff, where you're like sending music to, because like you send him stuff and then he showed it to me. He probably tries to take credit for it, but like you're like sending him music where like he's all, dude, Derek's down with this, so I'm gonna like listen. Like you're like one of those like and also you're one of those people that I really respect. So it's like if you're gonna send music, like I'm down to hear new stuff or hear like what you're listening to, even if it's like dark, weird black metal. I'm down. I'm super down. I feel like if you like certain people send me stuff and I'm like, yeah, I'll check it out, dude. Roadside.
Roadside.
You know what I mean? But like
that's like almost where I was with Dreamer. I was like, hey, I'll check it out.
I don't know. Me too. That's exactly where I was when Joseph was like, "You want to hear this demo?" I was like, "Not really," in my head, but
technical,
I was like,
progressive death metal.
Not really. And like, it was one of those moments where it's like, "Oh man, I'm so glad I checked this out." But like,
totally,
I don't know if I've known you to like any sort of like. It's not even mid pace. It's like extremely slow, sludgy stoner
Sunno
doom metal. You know, like,
I've seen Sunno like 3 times. I'm down.
I mean, that's unlistenable, but that's worth going to see once.
It's like a drone thing.
They have 94 amps though. It's like, you know, might as well like see the.
It's pretty cool to see. I saw them when they had Attila. I believe he's the vocalist for Mayhem, and that was really cool. He came out in like this like crystalline glass.
Where did you see
I mean, the whole point of that stuff is to be like hypnotic, right? Like
totally,
people into a trance of a sort, you know.
Like a trance.
Yeah, they had
being like hypnotic with your music.
Didn't they have like a punk band on that bill as well? it was weird. It was like a punk band, and we were like moshing, and then Sun came on after that, and that was like a vibe kill.
I think when I saw him, because the guys in that band, or at least one of them, is like the dude behind Southern Lord Records.
Yeah, and they had signed this like crossover thrash band. I'm trying to remember who they are, but
Maybe Black Breath, maybe Baptist.
I'm thinking like the adolescents, what is it, addicts, something with A. But I've recounted this story many times. I've never forgotten the band that played. But anyway, Sun is pretty sick, and Attila, that was fucking rad.
That added like a really cool dimension. Something that I don't know if it's a tall tale is that like for Black One, that record that he did or vocals on, they like put. I guess he's claustrophobic. I mean, again, tall tale probably. And they put him in a coffin with a microphone. And so like to make him sound even more scared while he's like stuck in this area that he hates.
Yeah. See, I think tech guys are getting into black metal right now. And it's like, we need some of that for sure.
We need that theatrics and like some of that emotion or like just like that artistry, because I feel you on that.
Should we start burying our clothes before shows? Prior and sniffing dead crow carcasses before we go?
What's something dumb we can start doing before shows?
Do jar bombs or jar bongs.
Aritos bongs.
Aritos bongs. What Derek used to do when he was Edge.
Oh no, Jarritos was Derek actually introduced me to Jarritos, dude.
I just had a Jarritos yesterday, guys. If I
go to Vallarta now, I'm like, give me a Jarritos, dude.
So my friends and I who were straight edge, we were dangerously sober is how I would refer to it. And so like we started getting into Jarritos pretty hard. Nice. For those of you on the line, Jarritos is a Mexican soda.
Best.
Like fucking delicious. And we started taking beer bongs of it.
Yes.
And then it became a Jarritos day. It's 2 days after Christmas. It still is. And the rule was like the first time we did the Harbong was like
mirror, dude.
2 feet. Like imagine 2 feet in your head, if you will. Yeah. And then like the next year, it was like 8 feet long, and the rules became you have to drink until you throw up. And and then we got a trophy the next year, and yeah, that's my experience.
What's it like to be like jacked up on that much sugar, dude? Like those gotta be like 35, 40 grams of sugar per bottle at least. Dude.
We were pouring liters into that fucker, man. And then like my buddy's lawn, there was this big dead spot that never recovered for all the years that like we remained friends. It was just brown for the rest of its existence. Like I bet if you go back to that lot in La Selva Beach right now, it's like,
oh shit,
nothing grows there. It's all, it's like, don't let your kids stand in the dead spot.
My God,
fucking nuclear signs around it and shit. Don't go past this point.
What's some dumb shit you got into when you were?
Besides eating mud.
Eating mud?
Eating mud? I was like, eating mud?
Besides guitar? Who said that?
It still never broke that habit.
Man's got to eat.
Man's got to eat. I don't know. I don't really know any dumb habits. I guess just like we did this stupid thing like because of, Jackass, where we would get in trash cans and then we'd shove each other off of staircases in the trash can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like doing really heinous shit like that.
Jackass definitely fucked everybody up. Everybody had to watch their nuts for a while, dude. That party.
Oh man.
And shit,
dude. Man.
Jackass.
Were you part of Revolt at all, Derek? Remember the Revolt stuff with Tommy and Nick Hardesty and stuff like that?
Oh no, but I remember it now. Yeah, we had some buddies.
Pre-Jackass. It was like pre-Jackass, wasn't it?
Well, before Jackass, there was the Big Brother videos, and Big Brother was a skate magazine that was like, not suitable for children, and then there was also
didn't Larry Flint? There's the what was it? The Penthouse guy.
Yeah, he bought it or something.
Yeah. He owned it.
And then there's also the Land Speed video, which a lot of people might know as CKY.
Yeah.
But more popularized, a lot of footage was reused in CKY2K. But yeah, there was like a couple precursors to Jackass, like and CKY2K with Big Brother. Like their videos are called Poop and Shit. and I can't remember, and Boob.
Boob.
Yes.
Can't forget Boob.
Steve-O had a bunch of footage prior to Jackass that he later put out on DVD too. It's like crazy that all these dudes were already doing that shit way before they even met each other, basically.
Yeah,
I know,
they were
it's
like
crazy.
at a collision course. Like it's actually funny that Steve-O actually had I've heard a story. He used to follow the Grateful Dead around, and he would buy a hit of acid for $2, and then he'd sell it for $6, and then he would get that $6, buy 3 hits of acid until it just turned into him getting sheets of acid, and following the whole tour of Grateful Dead around, and then till it turned to a book, I guess they call it, what the hippies call it, like a book of acid, which is like,
oh my god,
it's like 20 pages of fucking acid, and like he's like taking that, churning that until he was like making thousands of dollars, and like that's like where he started like his like fucking downfall, which actually now it's like one of the cooler stories of him, a human being like being in the absolute depths of fucking hell to like now he's like a super positive, like hey,
Yeah,
guys,
succeeding with the barter system, dude.
Totally.
Literally success.
That's like
from
that's
$2.
not how the parking lot works, man. It's supposed to be free love out there.
Totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
dude, you're supposed to be able to get your grilled cheese and somebody squirt a hit of acid in your eye and fucking...
oh my god,
It's a
dude.
mellow experience. So, Justin, I actually want to ask you because we talked this about beforehand, but your fucking first of all, your peanut butter and jelly guitar. The second I saw it, I fucking loved it.
Oh,
I was like,
that
the
guy
colors, yeah, the colors. I was like, that just makes sense to me. And then I was telling you before the podcast, like that V you have. I was like on the Kiesel website, like trying to make a guitar, like with the tools or whatever.
Yeah, the
And,
builder.
like, yeah, the builder, and I made the exact same one minus like the fretboard wood and the color, because the purple thing I think is fucking sick. That you've
Oh
like,
yeah, dude.
I feel like you have like long hair and you're all hot and shit, so people like respect you with it.
Dude, the dude from Weezer is playing a Crackle V right now. You can do it, Joel.
Oh yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, but
But I have nothing much to offer in guitar, so I'm gonna go pee real quick.
Yeah, maybe number 2 if you need. But
Yeah, drop a do.
but no, actually, when you first put that that Kiesel peanut butter and jelly, you called it, because I remember I didn't know what it was called. I remember you playing it, and I was like, damn, that color scheme actually kind of works. Like the brown with the purple and stuff.
Yeah, like the baked wood, and then like they do a really cool finish on it. It's like a quilted maple that they put like a base coat under it, and then they put this translucent purple, so it kind of looks like this shimmery, kind of holographic-y kind of.
Like I literally,
coat.
as a guitar fan, I was like, I'm down to buy one, like right now, as is.
Dude.
So like, I mean, I don't know, you have to disclose anything, but I feel like Kiesel should definitely give you like a signature model, because I feel like,
oh yeah, I would love that.
Your models are fucking beautiful. I think they're really cool guitars, man. I really honestly do. Like for me, like not even I hadn't even shook your hand before I saw that, and I was like, damn, that's sick. You know what I mean?
Thanks, man.
So is that like a goal of yours? Or is that
It's definitely a goal. Yeah, like a lot of our friends and people that I started with, like on Kiesel, like are now like signature artists. Like
What's up,
shit,
dude?
David Cosgrove. Hell yeah.
Already ready to go, dude.
You got one order,
sick.
2 orders. You got 2 orders.
2 orders
loaded.
in. Hell yeah, dude.
Locked and loaded.
Yeah, like I mean, Soccer Stairs, he has like a SIG out. Like it's fucking awesome. I
Totally.
actually finally got to play it at the Dragon Force show a little bit. It's fucking awesome. And then yeah, like everyone's getting artist editions. Like so like I'm definitely trying to make it happen. I just gotta have a little more clout, I guess, is what it's pretty much about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a goal for sure to do that one, especially because they don't offer this guitar with a Floyd Rose in it. Like this is a very one-off guitar, because they don't even, first of all, it's not even a Delos. Like a Delos is like the the pick guard like model that Kiesel pushes, but people don't realize that's actually a Greg Howe guitar. So Greg Howe is a signature, so that's his signature. And the reason I got that is because it's the only guitar you can get that has a pick guard on it that comes with a Floyd.
Oh, interesting.
So I spec'd it out just like that. And now they don't even offer a Floyd on a Greg Howe. So it's like, that's a selling point in itself too. So I don't know. Like I'm definitely down to make it happen. And we've been talking about it, but they're offering, they pretty much, I can talk about it. It's like not a big deal, but like they pretty much said I can do that. But the thing with these artist edition guitars is that you have to market it yourself.
You got the podcast though. You got. I mean, not the podcast, but you have your live Twitch.
Streaming and everything. Yeah, totally. Like and like I want to do it right, and like make sure it's like I have the most possible, like the biggest possible outlet to do it. So I'm like kind of waiting to get these records out before like swinging on that, because it's definitely going to happen. It's just a matter of like making sure it's timed right.
Well, after that single you guys dropped, like once this full length comes out, like I don't think you'll have any issue doing anything.
I hope so.
That you just said.
Cool.
I don't think you have any issue right now. Honestly,
but I was just saying with like the clout thing that you're talking about, like if that's what you feel like you need, like I 100% think that you're getting plenty of clout once this one comes out, dude.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I hope so. It's a long time coming. But yeah, I think we have another one coming out like very soon. And I think that's gonna hopefully catch people's attention because it's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
And I think this song that's coming out is gonna kind of like give a glimpse into what the future of the Zenith Passage is, because like, don't get me wrong, I'm a massive like, extreme death metal fan.
DM.
EDM. But at the same time, it's like if you gotta grow, and like at the end of the day, I've always been like a prog fan, and I feel like the Zenith Passage always gets thrown around like tech death and blah blah blah. But I mean, it's like the classic saying for everyone who's in these bands is like, oh, we're not like a tech band, like we're just a death metal band, we're like just a DM band. And like I always thought that way too, like or extreme DM or progressive DM. So I think the progressive side, especially now that like Brandon is in the band and he's like an incredible like bass player and songwriter, and like just his sense of melody is just fucking top notch. So it's
yeah. I gotta say, like this song that we're gonna release, I don't know, sometime very soon. I was into it, and then we got Brandon on it, and I was like, holy shit, like he elevated the song so greatly, and like heard stuff in there that I don't think either of us were hearing.
Totally.
And it was just like, where did you come up with that? And like you decided to come in there with that note. Like that's so crazy to me. And like there's a specific note that I can think, and I'm like, he's really sitting on that. Oh, fucking awesome. Like brought a smile to my face.
Yeah, like the chorusy parts where it kind of get the automation goes up for the bass to sing through. Yeah,
no, Brandon's amazing, man. Brandon's like literally like one thing I love about Brandon's like one of those guys that like thinks he sucks at everything. Like he's all this is terrible. Fucking.
He's very humble.
You played in fucking Cynic. Like
I know, dude.
Like stop. Could you stop? Like it was you and Sean Reinert just jamming in practice before tour. Like you're good. You're amazing, dude. Like stop.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's a legend, man.
I think a lot of people that like are good or really good, like top notch good, are the people that think they suck and think they need to be better.
Gilbert talks the same way, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gilbert is like one of the sickest players out there. Like,
yeah, totally.
It's insane. Like, and he's like, yeah, you just do this. I'm like, wait, what?
If now think about this though, guys. Those types of dudes, if they ended up getting to the point where like mentally they actually realized they were sick, would they continue to move forward?
Yeah, exactly.
Yngwie.
Yngwie.
It's like you plateau, man. It's it's where your ego gets in the way of your progression as a musician.
Totally.
Yeah.
And no one ever wants that.
But I think there's like a healthy.
If you're satisfied, then you're gonna move on to something else.
I don't know. I think I've said this to other people before, but it's like, and I was saying it earlier, as the vocalist, I am able to be a fan of the music more than the people writing the music, I think. And I sit back and I'm just amazed by like Justin or Mike when I was in the Faceless, and Steve and Brandon and all the wonderful players I've had a chance to sit with. And it's just incredible to be able to be surrounded by that level of talent. And like, everyone's always like, I suck so bad, or we were trying to figure out ways like to be able to keep going, and I was like, you guys got to give guitar lessons like between tours. I bet people would love to take and learn from you. I would if I was good enough. And they're like, I'm not good enough to teach. And I'm like, you literally are like the best guitar player in the world. Like, like you're probably in like the top 50 guitar players in the world. Like, of course you can do it. And like a lot of people, I don't know. It's kind of shitty to be like, yeah, I'm sick. But like, I think there's some healthiness in like being proud of the work you're doing. And like, that's part of being in a band is like, you've decided that what you can offer is good enough for people to listen to. And like, as I
keep us in it, you know, like obviously we're gonna get enough out of it to where it's like we're still gonna be in it, because if we hate it, if we hated everything we put out, then we would quit.
Yeah, if you didn't think it was worth sharing, then you wouldn't think it was good.
There's a percentage that you're into.
Yeah, and so like as again, like I was out of the game for a really long time. I went back and listened to all the records I did. And I was like, this is really cool. Like, and I was really proud of, like, more proud of it now than I was then, for sure. And like, I think I'm like a really picky eater and I don't cook much, but like I made like a really good steak recently. Nice. And I was like, this is fucking good. And like, there's nothing wrong in saying like that I did exactly what I was supposed to do and it paid off. And like, I think there's a lot of, you can still be proud and still be humble and like be willing to be like, yeah, I am like a great player and I'm loving to share this with people.
When it comes into like where everyone has to have a piece of the steak though, like everyone, like you're gonna, like it's a steak that you made, but all of a sudden you have to distribute it to 10,000 people. You might get like, well, like it's not that good.
Yeah, maybe it's not good enough for every.
Yeah. That's I think that's where it comes from. Yeah.
Well, it's like, also like, you know, that you did everything you were supposed to do to make that steak. You pulled it out of the fridge at the right time. You had the right temperature. You used the right oil. All that shit. So it's like, you know, you put your work into that steak. So you're ready to watch people eat it. You want to eat it with them. So yeah, there's that too. But it's just like there's that level of being totally satisfied that we're never going to hit because we keep wanting to one up the last thing we did.
Yeah. I think what I'm really just trying to get at is like, it's hard for a lot of people, especially in this corner of music, to like, to want to boast or something. But I think as a member of bands that I think are really good, as a person who doesn't write any guitar or drums, that I can say like, these guys are fucking sick. And it's totally like with you. Really cool to be able to be in the group and like part of that process of seeing like who people I think are like musical geniuses delivering on that genius.
Dude, I've been in a band with fucking Joel and Casey for fucking 17 years now, dude. And I still fucking freak out on these guys.
Casey's probably the gnarliest musical genius I've ever dealt with. But
yeah.
He hates compliments too.
He's gone.
No, he hates that shit. But like, dude, like you'll give him like an album, he'll be like, "Oh, cool, that's cool." And like, can you put drums behind it? He'll do like in a day, like an album. He'll just be like, "Yeah, just like put drums behind it, like insanely." And like,
just a little teaser, dude. This new Odia shit is fucking insane.
It's ridiculous.
I want to hear it.
Yeah,
I'm starting to record for it. And it's not chill.
It's hard as fuck, I'm sure.
At 37, it's like I'm like, shit, dude. I fucking should have got into like reggae. Like I should be like Jake White right now.
Jake White?
No,
isn't his name Jack?
No, that's our buddy from high school.
That's our buddy from high school.
Jake White. Okay.
Jake White. He's like, it was this chill kind of like dude back in the day, and like all of a sudden like he's in this reggae band that's like all big, and he's just playing these reggae things, he's just chilling, all ripped all the time, and I'm like, fuck, that's a way sicker gig, dude. But yeah, no, it's totally like you know, it's fun to get back into it because now, you know, we have an album to record now, and Carrie and Trevor and I and Casey also too, and this other band we're doing. It's like all of a sudden we're like booking time again. I'm like, fuck. Like I'm getting like this weird like stage fright PTSD. Like I don't even know, from like maybe Zach yelling at me or something. Like I'm like I remember actually the first time I actually recorded with Zach. The first song I did. It was a song we had never played together as Odious. It was the last song on Cryptic, and I was like, I want to get the hardest one out because we've never jammed it. So I want to get the hardest one out of the way, and I have no idea what's going on. But we wrote it in a van, so I'm like, whatever, let's just do it. And I started recording it, and I'm like halfway through it. I did one section, and it was like the middle part, which is like fucking insane. And Zach just turns around and is all, "Do you even know what you're doing right now?" And I was like, damn. And I was already like had like the fucking I was like probably smoking a bunch of weed and stoned and like taking in all the fucking anxiety and stuff. But then we got through that song finally, and then I did like 5 or 6 songs one take, and I was like, fuck you, dude. I can do this shit. Like,
I know what I'm doing.
So just a little backstory of what you just said. The song that he's talking about is Collapse of Recreation. Last
with
song
Jarzamek
on Crip. That's the one with Jarzamek. So there's all these tie-ins.
The Dismaster.
And when he said it was written in a van, he said it was written in a van. That was written on the Bloodletting tour.
Yeah.
Song,
sick, dude.
Collapse of Recreation was written in a 15-passenger van. While there he is. While Dan Eggers is just whooping everybody's ass in Mortal Kombat, Casey's in the back seat fucking arranging Collapse of Recreation, dude.
It was one of those tours too. We're all excited like about it, so we like got a Battle Forge coffee, dude. Check it out, Deeds of Flesh.
I never said that in the beginning.
Deeds coffee.
But those are our sponsors. But anyways, but no, we got the like
coffee seeds of flesh.
Yeah.
What did we say earlier? What was it? Beans of flesh, deeds of beans.
Deeds of beans. But no, we decided to get like a fucking a van with like fucking video games and like it's like bandwagon. Yeah. We got like we're like super fucking green.
2.
We're like whatever, dude. We're making $120 a night. We should rent a fucking van with drop down monitors and video games.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah, dude.
I brought a booklet of PS2 games and PS1 games, and we fucking. Dude, Eggers whooped our ass in Mortal Kombat so hard, dude.
We were so behind in money though. That was such a fucking bad thing to do.
Yeah.
But Bandigo.
Bandigo. Jedi grind.
Yep, that was it.
Bandogo.
We showed up there. We're like, dude, where's this dent from? I'm like, dude, that dent was there, dog. Like, it wasn't.
Yeah. I remember we were in Denver and we had a Bandigo and we just rolled up and like knocked someone's fucking like a mirror off, and then like everyone like is right in front of the venue, and then everyone just looks at me and I'm just like, it's a rental, it's fine.
I remember one night after a show, we were so exhausted, we were so tired, and one of our bandmates was driving, and we pulled in with our van and trailer like into like the check-in zone. You know how they're usually under like an awning or some shit.
Yeah.
He pulls in and he crashed into the awning, and we were just like, "You need to go right now!" And it was an Econo Lodge, and then we called it the Econo Flodge, and we just went boom, and we booked it out of there. But we were so tired, and we had to like drive for a long time to find another hotel.
Man,
it was great though.
Touring's fun, right, guys?
Touring's totally fun, dude.
I'm stoked to get on stage. It's been a long time, and then it's finally cool to get up there and play these shows. I think like the last show I did, I guess technically is in 2019. So like, what is that? 2 years now going back on stage. It's going to be a very interesting feeling.
3 years.
When's the last time were you?
3 years, probably that same exact show.
Yeah,
when I played a song with you guys.
Yeah, that was a cool show. That was, I think that was the show that we decided as a band, outside of Mike, that was our last show.
Yeah, so we played. John Frum played a festival in like just outside of Amsterdam. I can't remember the name of it. And then the Faceless were also playing, so they had me come up and do a song. What did I play? Ancient,
yeah.
That was cool. That was like a cute little reunion, and got to be on stage with Justin.
Hug.
Yeah, there's the infamous hug picture on stage that Justin loves to bring up all the time.
I love to send it to you.
But that was really fun. That was a cool show.
Yeah, it was a good way to end it.
Do you remember playing with Transcend the Realm in Pomona like 2016 or 17 with me?
Yeah, I remember that was with was it in Pomona?
Yeah, with Kennedy Vale. Was also the album release tour that like we only ended up doing like 1 or 2 shows of because Luis had a kid. I remember that. I think that was Matt, your drummer's first show ever with you guys.
Oh wait, okay.
Yeah.
Pomona. Oh, and that tiny ass stage
PBW?
next to the yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember that.
Right. Just this little story that they had the PA as a new promoter, and they had the PA.
Oh my god!
one speaker of the like stereo PA was in the pizza side, and it was only doing vocals, and then the other was in the other side. It was literally they were just channeling like the fucking vocals by itself into a fucking pizzeria.
It's so awesome.
It was fucking crazy, dude. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life.
That's so sick, though, dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was a fun show, and you guys killed it. I remember, and I got a shirt and hung out with you guys a little bit.
That was.
And,
I remember that show because I remember like they didn't have a sound guy, so I had to I remember it took us a long time to set up because I was just trying to feed the tracks into the board and then have to run back to the stage, test it, run back to the board. That was fucking.
All these newfangled bands without stage sound. That's gonna take some getting used to.
Yeah,
we just use floor monitors.
3 laptop bands, and we all were like sharing tips on how we were gonna do it. It's like, okay, what are you guys doing? Oh, this.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this is what we're gonna do, and like we'll listen
funny,
and tell you how it is. But I remember you guys made it work. It sounded pretty sick. So.
Yeah.
And
this is gonna be your
Greg too.
Yeah, shout out to Greg, dude. This is gonna be your first show without stage sound.
Yeah.
Well, I guess technically with that, but that was just like one song.
I think I had a really loud mix too.
No, you know what it was? I think that show we did with Knotfest, you didn't like ears.
Yeah.
I remember you had to end up putting them both in because there was no stage sound. It was like a big ass stage.
Yeah, that was so rough. I don't know. It goes back to what I was saying earlier about just like feeling it through you. And like when I was playing regularly, all my monitor mix would be was kick and snare.
Yeah.
And so like once that was just in my ear, I was like, it sounds so stupid. It's just like
Yeah.
But like out of a monitor, I could like put my foot on the monitor and it's like, all right, I can feel the song is gonna go to the next part now. And so it's like such a different vibe, but it makes a lot of sense, right? We're playing like extremely technical music that needs to be like
it's like
hit at the right point. It makes sense to have the in-ears. I'm just like in my head, I'm still punk rock, and it's like this isn't punk rock.
Well, dude, Greg didn't even use in-ears. Like every tour we did, Greg never used in-ears. He just used the front or the monitors, and like we were just all in ears.
Dude, I didn't even start plugging my ears until Severed Savior. I would go just open ears in Odious Mortem.
Oh, damn,
Absolutely nothing. My ears are fucked now, but
I'll tell you, that's a mistake.
Yeah, too.
I have a deaf ear. Because actually,
when you guys are talking
on that
in-ear
tour.
monitors, I'm like, in-ear monitors? I didn't even protect my ears.
It's like, what is a monitor? Like that was my first question.
Yeah.
I get to hear what the other people are doing.
It's like I don't want to see myself. Why is there a monitor there?
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of that, there was a time at House of Blues in Vegas where they have like monitors, like visual monitors everywhere, like all throughout the bar. And I remember like I was like, it might have been on a tour we were on, but like it was the Animals Leaders was playing. But I was like playing, and I was like, I noticed there was a monitor of me like zoomed in, and I was like staring at it for a second, but it was like a second delay. So I was doing a riff where it went from like the 3rd fret to like the 12th fret and back to the 3rd. And I was looking at the monitor, and my hand at the time was at the 3rd fret, but I looked at the screen, it was on the 12th, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I'm like,
Yeah, dude,
I was like, where am I at? Yeah.
You blew it, dude. Don't
I've
look
done
at
that.
yourself while you're playing.
It's so fucked up. Like I remember the Gas Monkey.
Oh yeah, in
the inside.
Texas.
Yeah, because it has those big screens on each side, and dude, they're peering back at you. It's hard to not see yourself. And I remember I was playing, I looked up and like, well, like why am I so off? Then I fucked up and I had to like drop out of the song and come back in. It's like a brain fuck, dude.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
it kind of takes you out of it's like looking at yourself playing is a thing that will take you out of your playing. So
Especially if there's a delay.
Stay in the
like you're
pocket.
fucked.
Yeah,
You're
the
fucked.
delay is what fucked me. Even
You're
on like when I stream on Twitch, it's like I have a mild delay in my camera because it's like a cheap camera, and it's like, dude, like my shit's not lining up, and like, am I off? And I fuck up. It's like such a weird sensation.
We have a crazy delay.
What should we raid?
It's been throwing me
raid-
off this whole day.
Should we raid Max?
Who's
Oh yeah,
Max
fuck yeah,
on
we
right
should
now?
raid Max.
Yeah, I'm gonna raid him right now.
Dude, Max is
Boom.
sick.
Max is such a fucking good guitar player. Jesus,
He is so
Christ.
good, man.
Jesus, it's like,
Oh,
and
Max?
it's funny because
An
actually, I remember,
anomalous.
Anomalous.
Oh,
yeah,
I haven't seen
dude.
him in probably like 15 years, but I do.
He's insane.
Anomalous is so sick.
No, it's
So
funny
sick,
because I
dude.
remember the anomalous episode with Nate and him. Like he was kind of like going like, whoa. He was kind of I saw him like kind of see like, whoa, people are like way into my playing. This is like we were like gushing about it, and I was like, dude, you're like this weird dude that just popped up in our fucking like metal like upbringing, and you just disappeared. You know.
Gotta rate
Like-
Max.
and-
The people are speaking.
with a complete unique voice too. With his playing.
Hopefully. I had to Google how to raid someone like again for like the 9th time.
Murray always gives you shit too. Like fuck this.
Just click the raid button, dude.
The first
Yeah,
time
we-
it was
we didn't do it
like
right, dude.
it was Joseph or something like that. He was all, dude, I raided him, dude. And then next morning, like fucking Murray's all, you didn't raid him, dude. It didn't work. and so I went on
You
Twitch.
thought you did?
Yeah.
You did right, dude.
We're all hanging out afterwards. Like fuck yeah, dude. We fucking.
That was a sick raid, bro.
That was a sick raid, brother.
Waiting so hard.
Well,
don't
fuck yeah,
ever-
dude. I'm super stoked you guys came on, dude. I mean,
Yeah,
like Derek, obviously you're one of my best friends of all time, and we grew up together as fucking babies. And it's like a trip to see like what you're doing now, and fucking, and then as far as like Justin and Scott Carstairs and stuff, like seeing your fucking prolific Twitch thing you guys are doing, which is fucking really cool, and it's new, and it's like it's really ahead of its game. You know, it's like one of those like looking for an underground band, like who's doing the next cool thing. Like you guys are doing that with Twitch, and I fucking look up to you guys a lot, and I'm super glad you guys are on here, man.
Hell yeah.
Stoked to be on here. It's crazy.
Yeah, this has been super fun.
Yeah, it's been
Oh,
cool to actually be a part of the conversation, considering like you guys are I'd say responsible for me even going this route with metal. So like, thank you for
Don't flip
fucking
it back.
writing.
Don't flip it
I'm
back.
serious, dude. I'm being real.
That's rad, dude. That's super
That's
rad.
awesome, man.
And yeah, that's what it is. It's like we're all folding in on each other and trying to build everybody up, dude. That's what it is.
That's
Let's
what it's
get
all
it to
about.
the point where this is like the second win for our generation, and we're hanging out with the new generation, and we're fucking continuing making new shit. There's fuck man, Derek. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Derek, you were on my list of people that I wanted to get on this show for the longest time because I always thought about homies and history and nostalgia, and you've always been on my list, so I'm glad.
Awesome. Well, yeah, dude. Once again, super stoked to be here. I
There's
probably
Troy.
have been
What's
like
up, dude?
not hesitant, but just been like MIA because like I'm not necessarily a podcast listener, but this has been super fun, and like look forward to your guys' episodes and just like seeing other friends and learning about music through all this. It's really cool. So
Nice.
thank
dude.
you guys
Yeah.
for having us, and like
Yeah, thank you, man.
we're just
done.
really stoked because like it's a new, shows are starting up again. We got new tunes coming out. We got shows coming up. We got people to see, songs to play.
Yeah.
There
Hell
they
yeah,
are.
dude.
We'll be at all the
Guys.
California shows. I believe
Hell
it's
yeah.
May 24th through
to
May
27th.
27th.
Check it out.
This tour is fucking awesome. Like if we're
Dude.
talking about like, it's almost
tour.
weird to call like this the
I
next
mean-
generation because like Rivers have 4 records at least, and like Alluvial dropped like the most sickest, like sounds like a 8th record out of a very seasoned band,
Mm-hmm.
and Fallujah's amazing. So there's just like the level of talent on this tour is one that I'm really excited for, and just like feel pretty fortunate that we get to be a
And also
part of
shout
it.
out
Absolutely.
to Jason Nitz and Warforged for being
Oh
on
yeah,
that.
Warforged
that-
is sick.
Yeah, I don't know those guys. I listened to the record and it was fucking awesome,
Oh,
but I
man,
don't know
so
any of
sick.
them personally. So like, if anybody
Dude,
on there,
Jason is
let's
super
chill.
sick, dude. The drummer of that band, you're gonna have an awesome time with that.
Yeah,
Dude.
Jason's
and,
a homie.
and,
He's
and
gonna try to get you on his podcast. By the way, now that you said that.
he's got a podcast.
I'll do
He's
it.
been on. We've
He's
been
sick.
on his podcast. He's been on our shit, and he's super sick, dude. You're stoked.
Awesome. Well, can't wait to see you all there at all of
Fuck
our
yeah.
Cali
We would
shows.
definitely
Oh, yeah,
see you.
dude.
We would definitely
Dude.
see you. I might follow you around like a fucking Steve-O at a fucking Deadhead show.
Come out, dude. You ever?
Dude, just
Dude,
share what you
watch-
sell.
Watch you'll come up with, but it's not a book of acid. It's like what did you accumulate over the parking lot of that show?
Oh, a book of fucking like I don't know, like fucking mustard.
Like gummy worms.
Fucking book of
Tablature
mustard,
books or
a
something.
book of Taco Bell season package.
Probably like sour gummies or
Weed.
Yes.
Weed nugs.
I'm always
No.
down with sour gummies, dude. Sour gummies are the shit.
Did I raid before we do this? Did I do
Dude,
it okay?
I don't know what that even means, man.
Okay.
So you
I know,
do
I'm
slash
fucking
raid and then
All right, I'm gonna be at one of those shows. I'm gonna beer bong a Jarritos.
hell yeah,
Let's
dude.
do a
We're
real
gonna
beer bong too.
Jarritos, bro.
Yo, the
I'm
Berkeley
fucking
show's the
down.
last date of it, so let's turn up.
Oh,
Turn
I'll be
up,
there.
dude.
I'll be there for sure.
Battery
yeah.
packs.
Hey, actually, he said no, Joel. I didn't raid.
What's your flavor?
Jesus,
What's your
fucking boomer,
Jarritos
dude.
flavor, dude? That you,
I like
that you picked?
I like guava.
Dude,
Oh shit!
lime is
What
the
up?
one for me, dude.
Just classic lime.
Classic
down
lime
with
or tamarind. I know
Least
Derek,
favorite's tamarind. I hate
Mandarin,
You hate
tamarind
yeah,
though.
the
tamarind.
orange soda, the Mandarin. That's what's up, dude.
Yeah, that one's. I mean, they're all bomb.
Hell yeah!
Oh, we got another
Pineapple.
tamarind fan
yeah.
on it.
That's what's up.
Sorted's
All right,
down for the
dude. Should we
tamarind.
wrap it? Should we wrap it, guys? Did
Wrap
do
her
it.
up. We got a sandwich to eat.
I'm
Did
trying
you
to
raid
raid
correctly?
though.
Joel chimed
You
in,
didn't do it.
dude.
Yeah, you got to
fucked
type
up
it in your
again.
in your. If you're not on OBS, just go to the top right where your picture is.
I'm on the Twitch of Max's right now.
Okay, so go back to your. If you're logged in on Twitch, go to the top right.
Dog, can we edit this part out? Like, what's going on?
No. I want to. I want all this shit. I want all this awkward
Live,
shit.
bro. Joel's on blast right now.
If you go to the top right and you hit Creator Dashboard,
Yeah, creator dashboard. Yeah.
so hit that, and then you'll see like what looks like a parachute on the right side. It says Raid Channel.
Listen, let's
know
raid
now-
this one from
Shit.
yours.
Now I know
I'm
why
hosting
Joel doesn't know what the fuck to do. I can't
It says
understand a word
about
you're
me
saying
alerts
right
us.
now. I heard
video
parachute, and I'm like,
extensions.
what?
All right, shut up, dude. We're fucking.
Fucking 8 mid-30s DM dudes walk into a Twitch stream. However many of us there are here.
That's fucking
Amazing.
good, dude.
Oh, dude, I don't know. I don't see. It says about me alerts video extensions.
Okay, so if you go to the top right where your picture is, and then you go to Stream Manager, just stay in Stream Manager, and then there's like a parachute on the right side, and it says Raid Channel. Or if you could just go into your text, your chat in your channel.
Yeah, I did the
And-
/raid.
Yeah, and then
I typed
type
his
out
name in.
Max, and then you hit enter, and it should raid it.
All right. Anyways, guys.
Wow. This was
Supposedly, according to fucking Murray, we didn't do it. He's laughing at me. But
we haven't done it. Obviously, we're all sitting in the same room still.
No, this is separate from that. But
Oh.
I think let's see, is it still on?
I'm
I'm still
Yeah, I wanna
hosting you guys.
see what
so yeah.
Max is doing, dude. Let's
I want
fucking-
Max to get the things. You know. I don't know.
You want him to get the things, dude.
We'll definitely edit this out of the. I mean, if Casey's
Why?
down, we'll edit this out of the
No,
main.
we don't need to edit
No.
shit, dude. Whatever.
That's what it's all about.
this
dude.
part of the deal.
Figuring it out. Okay, so
Well,
if you
guys
go to
talk
your
about yeah.
if you go to if you go to your Stream Manager and there's like activity feed and it says my chat.
Okay.
Like if you can get to your text channel and your chat.
Joel looks so confused.
I honestly I know how you feel
Okay,
because Twitch is very very
Career dashboard.
create your Stream Manager. It's like the very top tab on the left side for Stream Manager.
Oh, left side.
He's not looking over to the right. Dude, battleforgecoffee.com.
There's no
dude.
stream manager.
All right,
if
here.
I drank coffee, that's the coffee I would drink.
That
No.
would be-
Do they make
You're not
do
a
they make
coffee guy?
tea for brewing kombucha?
Oh, I love
Oh
coffee. Dude.
shit! Well, they probably
I've done
might
this
move
before and it
into that.
works,
So
though.
you're not a coffee
check
guy,
it
you're
out.
a tea guy.
Yeah.
I'm a
I'm down with
kombucha
tea.
guy.
I'm gonna share my screen. I'll show
Kombucha's
you real
dope.
quick.
I haven't never made like actually done the homemade shit though. I just buy.
Dude,
the
I'm gonna bring you a kit to Berkeley. Easy.
It's easy shit. That's what my cousin says too. She makes it herself too. But I
Brew
always
some
pick up
tea, you
at the-
put some sugar, and you dump the little fungus boy in there, and you're off to the races. 2 weeks
How long-
later, you got some booch.
2 weeks. That's what it is.
It takes 2 weeks, and then you gotta bottle it and ferment it again. And,
Okay.
that's where you put the flavor in, and the carbonation happens.
Do you see my
it's
screen,
natural
Joel?
carbonation? It naturally
Mhm.
carbonates.
No.
Mhm.
Oh
yeah.
Interesting.
All right, so you go right here. It says Creator Dashboard,
Creator. Oh, I see it. Yeah. All right. I'm doing one thing.
and then see Stream Managers right here.
Yep.
So, and then there's this thing looks like a parachute. Says Raid Channel.
Oh yes.
You click that, and then it shows you like
boom.
pretty much everyone you follow. Then you
I
just
already
click
started.
them.
I started. Thank you, sir.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Thank you very much.
Tech support.
Tech support.
But
Yeah.
I'm in IT too. It's fucking embarrassing. But,
Dude, Twitch is very confusing. It's
now do it
extremely
successfully, and let's watch Murray say yay.
all right, guys. Thank you very much for being on, dude. We're fucking wrap it up here.
Yeah, dude, this was awesome. A lot of fun.
Yeah. I'll
Thanks
talk to you guys soon.
those of you
Mark,
who
always
watch. We'll see you on the road.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah, dude.
DM.
Where can everybody buy your merch? I know we should have said that up top. Fuck.
You can go to any merch. Yeah, Big Cartel.
Damn.
That was
Damn,
already
Joel,
ready
I had
on
it
the
ready, dude.
blast.
It's redemption right there.
If
If
like
anybody
4
out
PM.
there who's listening's got a copy of Solipsist on vinyl that they want to sell me, holler at your boy.
I have
Oh,
one.
yeah.
I'll sell it to you.
All right, I'll
That's
buy
good. I was
Justin's.
good.
Damn,
you.
connections made.
Boom, connection made to the dude sitting right next to you.
That's the
$300,
closest
dude.
Craigslist ever.
That was
All right,
sick.
guys. Love you guys. Have a
Yeah.
good night.
You too, man.
Peace.
Yeah.
Peace out, guys.